Oh, come on now. Who doesn't want a little Irish inside them?
How could you not want a little Irish inside you?
I was lucky to find they had some DMCA free um Celtic Irish music. So figure for some background music, it's not too shabby, right? Not too terrible. I'm not a leprechaun, don't worry. As short as I am, I'm still a little too tall for a leprechaun. Yeah, we're not even gonna bother with the frickin' intro tonight. It took me a little bit longer than I planned on to even get everything set up here, so oh my god, it's green in here. I didn't test it to make sure everything looked good beforehand. Hey, Lugia, Hook, Mari. See, you've been to Ireland, Mari. I've never even been there. So not fair. I've got I've got two options for hats tonight. I've got the green one, or I've got the black one, which I do like better. Even says lucky right on the side there. So I'm kind of leaning towards the black one, not gonna lie. Also, guys, I moved my computer stuff around, so now my monitor is no longer on this side. It is now over here. So I can actually, like, look at the camera when I'm responding to you guys. Green for Irish? Aye, that be the case. You love the background? I mean, it's very green, right? Very, very green. And I don't smoke weed. No interest at all in smoking weed. Also, guys, I don't usually drink, like, at all, but I do have my frosted Guinness mug ready to go. I've got my ice cold can of Guinness. So in a minute we'll do some Guinness ASMR. ASMR? I don't do that shit. So I think that's how you pronounce it. Let me go ahead and get music's a little loud. You'd like a third option? I know, Oblivion. I know. Yeah, Oblivion. It's funny that you were messaging me asking about Cabrutus because a couple months ago when his old buddy Corrosion messaged me, there's some shit that went down behind the scenes with Cabrutus and everything else, so. Not a drinker, but you have moonshine. Why would you have moonshine if you're not a drinker? That doesn't make any sense. Been to the Republic of Ireland in 2017, one of the best places for food, culture, and whiskey. Well, again, I'm not typically a drinker either, but I would try the whiskey. I'm not a big, like, fan of alcohol, to be honest. Plus, I have to be careful how much I drink with everything else going on with my body and health and all that good stuff, but I figure we'll go ahead and pop this can open. Let me get the music turned off for a second. Guinness is just the coolest stuff because they have that little thing in the can that actually activates the foam. It's very cool. Here we go. I'm sure I'm screwing up the angle of the pour, but whatever. Now, the funny thing is, I don't usually like dark beer. I have found from trying different beers that I cannot do. Here's that Guinness. Good stuff. I cannot do most dark beers. But Guinness, if the weather is cold enough, I can enjoy it. All right, so let's go ahead and... Oh, Mari missed the Guinness pour. Let's go ahead and bring up... I wanted to go with a couple of topics that were kind of fun and lighthearted at first, and then we're going to go jump headfirst into the whole Ubisoft thing. Cheers. All right. Whew. Man, it's been like years since I had a Guinness, and I had one out of this pack a couple days ago. Sounded pretty good. All right, cool. I wasn't sure if the microphone would pick up on it or not. Again, what I love about Guinness, it almost looks like espresso. That head on top is really nice. The problem is you have to get it really, really cold. You don't drink hardly at all, but you're still a respectable redneck. I can respect that. I can. Mari, it's St. Patrick's Day. Oh, man. So, let's dive into some of the stuff that I've got brought up here. Hang on a second. Since I have the special screen and all that, let me see how that looks. Oh, I need to move that. That's terrible. I don't know where to stick this thing. That's what she said. We'll just kind of stick it off to the side there. I don't know. Kind of obnoxious and in the way. Looks a bit like matcha. Oh no, but it is dark. It's not green. Anyways. So I brought up some articles. We have the best Irish characters in video games. Now I'm going to out myself as a fake gamer again. I don't know most of these characters, guys. Like, to be honest, I don't know most of them. Now this one I do know. William Adams from Neo coming in at number 7. I didn't realize he was Irish. I never played the game. Well, Mari, it's not today anymore where you are. I'm actually at the tail end of it. I've got 2 hours until it's not the 17th anymore. Whew. Hair like Geralt, kind of. Yeah, a little bit. Then you got Shay Cormac from Assassin's Creed Rogue. I did not play Rogue because I stopped after Unity. Number 5, you've got Nina Williams from Tekken. I never played Tekken. Tekken was only on the PlayStation back in the day, wasn't it? Anna Williams from Tekken, again, didn't play Tekken. Jaunty from Shadowman. I have no clue what the hell this is at all. Moira from Overwatch. Technically, I guess it counts. And number 1 was Sean McGuire from Red Dead Redemption, also a character from a game that I've never played. So again, I feel like I'm just outing myself as a fake gamer every freaking time I talk about like really old school games. Tekken had the characters arranged by region. I never got into Tekken. I played Street Fighter off and on. I played a lot of Soul Calibur, a tiny bit of Mortal Kombat, but never Tekken. Yeah, Mari, hopefully that whole situation clears up. I know that it sounds like that's pretty scary, but I'm glad that you're all right. That's insane. You're not familiar? Okay, good. Then it's not just me. I felt like I was a fake gamer here for a second. Then, of course, we have 8 Bonnie video games set in Ireland. And here's the funny thing. So they've got Assassin's Creed Valhalla. You've got Folklore, which is a game from 2007. Clive Barker's Undying from 2001. If Found from 2020. The Little Acre from 2016. These are games I've never heard of, except for Valhalla. So May It Be, a witch dating simulator from 2020. Clan O'Connell and the Crown of the Stag from 2020. And it ends with We Need More Irish Video Games, friends. Yeah, no shit. I'm looking at this going, if this is the only like list of games we have set in Ireland, that's depressing. That's terrible. Oh man. Yeah, no, I wish I'd have spent more time like playing on different systems, but unfortunately I grew up playing on Nintendo. Then I branched off into Xbox, never got into PlayStation. So basically for a long time before I had a PC, there was a whole console's worth of games that I never played. I was never a big Sega guy either. I had one Sega growing up that we got from like the secondhand store. But never really got a whole lot of, I had like a dozen games for it and that was it. All right, one more piece. Actually, okay, I think we have a couple more pieces of good news before we dive into the really shitty headlines. So I covered this in an article. I don't know how many of you guys saw this. I've talked several times in the recent past about John Gibson from Tripwire Interactive, who was fired from his position because of some comments he made being pro-life a couple years ago. He is now back, started his own publishing company, Templar Media. And so their goal is to put out entertaining games first and foremost that are gamer oriented. He is partnered with this Christian game studio that's making this Bible interactive game. But he has said before that they're going to publish games whether they are quote unquote Christian or not. They're going to just try to make good games. And so this is kind of a big W. This is a big win because this guy, I've said before and I'll say it again, I don't think he would have lost his job had he made the comments he made current year. The problem was he said those things back in 2021, and back in 2021, it was a whole different universe, whole different world. Indian restaurant downstairs burst fire and burnt first to 6th floor. Oh my god, now it makes sense. That absolutely makes sense now. Why is it always restaurants? I get it, they've got fryers and grease fires and shit, but holy crap. Oh my god, it's a miracle then that it's actually a much better situation than it sounds like. That's crazy. All right, so I don't know how many of you guys saw this or how many of you are excited about it. Starship Troopers redo or remake in the works at Sony from Neil Blomkamp. He said it when it was hard to, which matters. I was a chicken shit at the time, and I didn't get into, like, I didn't want to wade into his replies. And I've messaged him since. He and I have actually been DMing back and forth for a couple months now. I want to set up an interview with him, kind of talk to him, now that he's kind of got back on his feet. Because I'm like, dude, I wish I would have spoken up at the time, but at 2021, Twitter was a leftist hellhole. If you spoke up, you were just going to get like completely buried in the comments and everybody was going to attack you. And it's like, oh, you don't want to be canceled now. I wasn't worried about being quote unquote canceled because I'm anonymous on there. But still, you don't want a bunch of angry leftists in your mentions all day. So I just kind of stayed out of it at the time. Here, when restaurants catch fire, it's often because the restaurants weren't doing well. Yeah, get that insurance money, right? But yeah, Starship Troopers is getting a remake, and it's going to be based on the book, not based on the film, with Neil Blomkamp, I think is his name, from District 9, which I actually kind of liked. So I don't know if you guys are hopeful for this or not. I think it could actually be really good if they decide to stick with the book, like with the source material, rather than going with what they made, the movie into back in like what, 2001 or whenever that movie came out? 1997, there we go. Ooh. Oh my god, Guinness is meaty. Hey Ryan, happy St. Patty's Day. And then of course we got one more ray of sunshine, one more piece of good news before we jump into the rest of the news. And that would be Justin Trudeau stepped down last week, and I believe now it is actually official.
I am so proud of Canadians. I'm proud to have served a country full of people who stand up for what's right, rise to every occasion, and always have each other's backs when it matters most. This may be my last day here in this office, but I will always be boldly and unapologetically Canadian. My only ask is that no matter what the world throws at us, you always be the same.
God, he's so creepy. Did we tell him we had to stream without him the other day? Stream without who? You mean on Friday? Today's Monday. I stream 3 times a week. Everybody knows that. No one is born on their hero arc. No one wakes up and does hero shit. That's movies. They wake up as a hero and one day evil crosses them and they say no. Evil chooses who and when. That's very, very poetic. The Indian workers skipped legal procedures, probably skip procedures. I wouldn't, yeah, honestly. What are you guys talking about? Where were you guys at where I wasn't? Why didn't anybody invite me? So you guys, okay, so Ryan, Oblivion, and Candace were all there. Who else knows about this and didn't tell me? I'm so confused right now. Yeah, people don't follow safety rules in this country too, but a lot of times it's because they're completely brain dead. So sometimes it's not because of intentionally being malevolent. Sometimes it's just retarded people. Wait a second, Tekla was streaming? I didn't know Tekla streams. Oh, well, there you go. Learn something new. I've seen Tekla pop up in a few different channels, but I didn't know that he actually was streaming. So we got Trudeau's gone, possible good Starship Troopers movie. We got a guy who was canceled 4 years ago, has got his company back. He's starting to do good things. We've got a whole bunch of good stuff. Now we kind of have to dive into the really, really icky stuff, unfortunately. Oh, real life fake wizard. I'm not subscribed to his channel. I haven't tried watching his videos. I've seen him on other people's channels and just kind of haven't like tuned in yet. So I don't know. I don't have an opinion on him yet. I'm gonna have to be careful how much of this Guinness I drink. Last thing I want to do is wake up with a stomachache in the morning. So, I'm sure most of you have heard by now because every other YouTuber has beat me to the punch and covered it. Ubisoft is ready to take down people who say mean words, apparently. He makes good videos and streams. I can't, and I know it's part of the shtick. I get it. I know it's part of his gimmick. The beard, the fake beard, and all that. It reminds me of that dude who I've seen on like TikTok shit that I see on Twitter. He pretends to be a wizard and he like hops on his knees or something. That's just what reminds me of. I don't know. So I haven't even like ended up watching him yet. Maybe I'll enjoy his stuff. I don't know. You might get arrested if you make a video on Assassin's Creed Shadows. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see about that. You hate that beard. I mean, it's a gimmick, right? Doomcock has his mask and his voice modulator. Same with Dr. Disaster. A lot of these guys all have their shtick. I thought about it years ago. When I first thought of making content, I'm like, do I want to do like a gimmick, like a voice or a mask or have sunglasses on or any of this stuff? And at the end of the day, I'm like, you know, it just doesn't fit me. It's just not me. It's not who I am. I don't want to play a character. I don't want to do a gimmick. Because then you're not only trying to share your authentic opinion through a character, on your videos, but then you're trying to share that authentic opinion while you're pretending to be somebody else. I have hats. That is true. I have mini hat. Some hat big, some hat small. All right, so Pirate Nation shared this earlier, and this was, I think, from 2 days ago. Let me check the date on this. This was from earlier this morning. And I'm not sure, this looks like a Gamer article from The Gamer. It says, Ubisoft reportedly has a plan to protect developers from harassment when Assassin's Creed Shadows launches. It says, Ubisoft reportedly has a plan in place to protect the devs from abuse. Devs are apparently already being told to be cautious on social media. Ubisoft is also said to be collaborating with a Canadian government agency to combat online abuse. This is never good, right? It's never good when you get to this point where it's like, we are going to have government agencies getting involved to censor speech or suppress speech online. And I get it. Like, I'll be the first person to say it. I don't think death threats or violence or threats of bodily harm should be protected as free speech or, you know, under the First Amendment here in the United States. I have no problem with people saying if you make threats against somebody, that's something that crosses the line. I truly believe that, right? I don't believe in hate speech. I think hate speech is retarded. You either say something and you mean it or you don't. But threats of violence is a whole nother step. That's a whole nother thing, right? Well, Ubisoft's a French company, but they're also based in Canada. So it's really confusing because Ubisoft has studios all over the world, as I understand it. Japanese government versus Canadian government, yeah. What Ubisoft's trying to do is downright criminal. It may or may not be criminal, but it's not enforceable. It's certainly not enforceable, you know? Demion lives in Canada. He'll still criticize it because, again, Canadians know how to word things in a way to stay out of trouble. Because they have their online safety bill, as I understand it, kind of like what you have in the UK, where there are things where they can't say certain things online because they don't have a First Amendment. Let me see. And Demion's Canadian. Yeah, Canada's laws don't mean anything to me here in Texas either. Okay. Well, but I'm not worried about Canadian laws. What they're talking about, and this is where we get into the actual more logical, juicy side of things, is it has nothing to do with enforceable, like, legal action. It has a lot more to do with suppression of free speech. So, from 80 Level says Ubisoft is ready to sue players for harassing Assassin's Creed Shadows developers. Again, first red flag is, what the hell do you consider harassment, right? What is harassment? We're talking about like going to somebody's home and standing outside and yelling at them. Well, I could say you have a fair argument there. If it's Ubisoft posts something online and you say, I think your game sucks, I think Yasuke is a stupid character. I think, you should have gone with a Japanese protagonist. All this. I mean, look, criticism of any kind can be labeled as harassment through the right, twisting of words and everything else, right? If push comes to shove, I'm siding with Japan. Yeah. UK is British Raj in the 21st century. I don't even want to talk about the UK right now. That country, that group of countries is such a mess. So it says Assassin's Creed Shadows, undoubtedly one of the most divisive and controversial video games in recent years, is set to launch in just 3 days, and the entire internet, both those looking forward to the game and those critical of what they've seen so far, is buzzing with anticipation, albeit for different reasons. Games developer Ubisoft, whose disastrous 2024 is widely regarded as the worst year in its history and whose future might depend on the success of the new Assassin's Creed title, is also gearing up for the release, reportedly enlisting a special team to shield Shadows developers from the imminent weight of criticism by any means necessary, including taking legal action. How is that even possible? I want to know how that's even possible. What about the developers are poopy head? I mean, you could argue that that's not a fair criticism because poopy head doesn't mean anything. I don't know. But at the same time, it also doesn't constitute like harassment. It's dumb, it's stupid, it's whatever. In an interview with the French media outlet BFM TV, a Ubisoft employee whose identity remained undisclosed revealed that the company has an anti-online harassment plan prepared for Shadow's release. Reportedly, the company has a dedicated team on standby, monitoring networks such as Twitter, YouTube, and Reddit, ready to act quickly in case of a targeted attack. Guinness burp, sorry. Offering psychological and legal support to employees who may be targeted. Apparently, Ubisoft is so concerned about backlash that it has even advised developers not to post on social media that they work at Ubisoft to avoid harassment. Now, I'm going to level with you guys right now, okay? In covering a lot of this stuff, in talking about this stuff with other people, when comparing online issues and issues of video games and entertainment with the issues of the world, paying your bills, finding a nice place to live, having a good job, providing for your family, and everything else, right? There's a lot of things where it's like, well, what of this is really important? At the end of the day, if it was either, spend my days online complaining about a video game company, or if I had to work all day to pay my bills, obviously I wouldn't care about the video game company I'm criticizing. But I can because I have the ability to do that. That being said, I think that there are a lot of there's a lot of things that are lost in the mix when you start going, well, why would you want to contact somebody just because they work at Ubisoft and harass them? I don't usually go out and find somebody who's the developer on social media who worked on a game and find their Twitter page and, if they're not already like a raging asshole, spend my time spamming their responses and go, yeah, but your game sucks, or I hate your game, or why'd you do this and that, right? Not the way I operate. Unfortunately, in a perfect world, you would think people, Hey, don't bark. Bourbon. Why is he barking at you? Oh. You would think in a perfect world that people wouldn't go out of their way to criticize people, or not to criticize, to find these developers, find people that work at Ubisoft and harass them online. Like legitimate harassment, right? Blowing up their mentions 24/7, spamming nonstop hate, whatever you want to call it, on their replies. You would think in a perfect world, people would be able to not do that because at the end of the day, that's not that important. You got bigger issues to worry about. However, we don't live in a perfect world. And unfortunately, if you have an online presence and you admit that you work for a company that gets criticized a lot, you fairly open yourself up to criticism and responses from people who may or may not respond in an unhinged manner. So like it or not, they have two options. You accept what the internet is, the good and the bad and everything else connected to it, and you either say that you work at Ubisoft and open yourself up to the criticism and the occasional, nut job who's going to spam your mentions, or you just keep it on the down low and you don't mention it. And while that does kind of suck for the person who works for these companies, they then get quote unquote harassed by their definition. Like I said, we don't live in a perfect world. What option do you have, Nobody should if you got a brain. Hey, Nightcore. You mix up Street Fighter and Tekken character select screens. I don't even know the difference, to be honest. Today's definition of harassment is anything that makes snowflakes feel butthurt and cry. Well, you're not wrong there. Better just not say where you work online. Okay, so prime example. I don't post where I work online. So I remain reasonably anonymous, right? But that being said, if I worked for a company the size of Ubisoft, I don't know if I'd have an online social presence or not. I don't know. It's a very interesting thing to think about, right? But the reality is, like I said, if you are going to work for a company, especially a company like Ubisoft, who gets a lot of criticism for the stupid choices they make, and then you say on your profile, your public profile, I work at Ubisoft, yeah, you kind of open yourself up to it, unfortunately. Ubisoft has harassment by their own employees. Oh, we're going to get into that. Don't worry. We're what's getting lost in the mix of all this conversation, I think, is the fact that Ubisoft is still a company full of scummy people, right? In a perfect world, harassment only becomes a thing, say, if I point out that our host has a weird dick nose and that beard looks like a shallow attempt to hide his gayness. Dude, seriously. Yeah, but again, I don't consider that harassment because I know you say that with love. Not good to say where you work unless that's the marketing work. I mean, that is also true. But I don't know. It's a tough subject. It's one of those things where you go, is it normal to not be able to post where you work online because you don't want people finding you and stalking you and harassing you? I mean, yeah, I guess, maybe. Not everyone has to have a social media online or presence either. Like, my Facebook page has been private and locked for 10 plus years now. I don't use it. I rarely post on there, and it's just friends and family. I don't have anybody on there who I don't personally know. So, let me see. Do I feel harassed yet? Not yet. Game developers need to have thick skin. Yes. So we'll also address that in a minute too. Perhaps the most surprising detail, however, is the employees' claim that lawyers are already prepared to file complaints in the event of confined harassment situations, and is often the case with statements like this. The wording raises questions about what Ubisoft actually considers to be harassment. While any reasonable person agrees that threats of violence, and similar behavior are unacceptable and should be dealt with accordingly, it's clear that somewhere where Ubisoft might also classify harmless online trolling and criticism of Assassin's Creed Shadows and its creators as harassment and use the lawyers as an intimidation tactic, which would be equally unacceptable. Now, I didn't bring up any articles on this, but I want to quickly talk about the fact that recently Ubisoft has struck videos from channels over a lot of the leaks of other games that were canceled that aren't even coming out. So Ubisoft struck, I believe it was both Hypnotic and Smash JT's channels for talking about a leak that they weren't the source of for a game from Ubisoft that never even came out. So Ubisoft has other fish to fry. They got bigger problems to worry about than this, you know? Try harder, just like I wish you'd be before. What are you on tonight, man? So yeah. It's important to note that as of now, the existence of this team is based solely on a single anonymous user. How much we want to bet that the anonymous source is McDizzle? You know what I discovered today, guys? I discovered this. This was really funny. So here's the thing. I have a Blue Sky account, and I have a Blue Sky account that I will never tell any of you the handle of or what I'm doing on there, because one of these days when I have more time, I'm going to actually, be following people that I need to spy on to, get information and shit. But in the meantime, my Blue Sky account's just sitting there. I don't post on Blue Sky. Blue Sky is a bunch of absolute degenerate retards. However, McDizzle, the guy who is I'm just trying to make sure Smash JT is being fair and accurate with his reporting, and this is just for the good of journalism, right? That I couldn't stand that guy's voice. As much as I hate my own voice at times, McDizzle is the worst. He's got a freaking Blue Sky account. I know that because Airbagged over on Blue Sky was messaging or tagging him and stuff, and I'm like, of course McDizzle's on Blue Sky. This makes total sense now. Absolutely total sense. I could be the Rapunzel of beards. Dude, this thing isn't even that long yet, okay? I had to trim the mustache hairs, because I actually had a mustache on top of the beard. I discovered this a couple days ago. I'm like, what are these right here? And I had these handlebars that were attached right here, hanging on top of the beard, okay? Absolutely crazy. I've had to trim the sides because it gets too shaggy over here. And so I'm letting the front, the middle portion of it grow. I don't know how to properly trim a beard, guys, okay? I try to trim it to what looks good, and that's it. So it is what it is. But it would be so funny if the frickin' anonymous source was Nick Dizzle. He didn't learn his lesson. The business that cannot embrace criticism and refuse to improve will fall in the free market. It's a quality failure. Well, that sums up Ubisoft to a T. McDizzle blocked me after an hour of pointing out how he effed up. Dude, I don't even bother interacting with these guys. I just don't. It's almost Kratos length. Yeah, well, I don't look like Kratos. Okay. I don't have like the bald head with the tattoos and the big muscles voiced by a black man like, what's his face? Christopher Judge, is that his name? All I know is the guy's got a freaking awesome voice. Really cool voice. So moving on. The responses here are absolutely hilarious. Some guy on phone, Francesco Solback from that park place, says, with what money are they going to sue? This guy says harass, points out inaccuracy in Assassin's Creed Shadows. That's harassment. Lawyer up, mother effer. You don't want shorter style sometimes. Here, this is a test. I want to see at what point I get sick of it and trim it. I've never let it grow this long. Ever. Yeah, from Stargate. I knew he was from Stargate. I missed Mahendra's chat, but he deleted it. How can I read it if you go back and delete it? Okay, here we go. Have I seen Yasuke's gameplay on Assassin's Creed Shadows? Oh, yeah. Mari, I'm glad you're here. Because I was going to mention this if I actually made a video about it, and I wanted to ask about this. Am I correct in my understanding that in Japanese video games, in Japan, the level of dismemberment, like chopping off arms and legs and heads and all that kind of stuff, that's toned down a lot in Japanese games. Is that correct? I ignored that. Oh, I didn't see you come in, buddy. Irish Italian diversity mod is here. No, Irish Italian's not enough diversity. What else you got? Do you have a little, like, Indian or Puerto Rican inside you? Yeah, the Lego guy. Came across this one tweet from channel called 80-something, talk about the lawyer Ubisoft stuff. Oh, Birdman, yeah. Yeah, that Birdman guy is something else. Cracking some joke about Shohei not even tagging him. Dude, he's a coward. He blocked Kada. Kada has like 10,000 subs on YouTube, 3,000 followers on Twitter, but he's quickly growing. I mean, he's doing really good for himself, especially with him and Atreus on New Blackstreet. They're kicking ass and taking names. Yeah, Birdman blocked him also. Not trying to be racist, but when guys like Birdman put on that I'm going to use facts and logic to debunk everyone that refuses to worship Yasuke me and voice in their videos, it sounds so awkward. I don't even watch their videos. So, a lot of their games and videos have dismemberment. Legally, it's always been much less. Neither of those were considered white until 5 minutes ago. Well, okay, do you have anything else that we can consider like an actual ethnic minority? Like anything at all? I've got like the size of my pinky nail. I've got that much Native American in me, allegedly, so that makes me more diverse than you. Just like when you have an actor that can't pull off a Shakespearean voice in a fantasy setting and it just doesn't work. Oh, I hate that. Dude, I love it in movies when you have an actor who doesn't give two Fs about actually trying to do the accent, and he just basically is like, I'm just going to speak the way that I normally speak, and everyone else is British, and I'm just some American that's not even faking an accent. Hey, Mexican! But you are a Mexican and not a Mexican. That's good. Japanese games, nudity is fine, but violence, no. That's so funny because growing up in the 80s and 90s, video games and movies for me and my household were treated the exact opposite. You could watch violent movies to an extent, but no nudity, no naked people. It's all in your hips. Bow chicka bow wow. We refuse to normalize visually brutality in citizens' eyes, especially still developing brains. Okay. Yeah, well, we're the polar opposite over here, Mari. We got like way too much violence by comparison. If they can't change that part even without this much backlash, they don't meet legal standards. That'll be interesting to see because, again, that was a big topic of conversation about the content of Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 being released in Saudi Arabia, which is a very conservative country, and they don't like the homosexuality and that kind of stuff in the games. So that'll be curious to see how Japan treats that based on the level of violence that we've seen in the game itself. Now, most games that have excessive violence or gore have settings, I believe, where you can turn that down. I just never even bothered toggling it. Mighty Keef has had me blocked for a long time. I probably called him Mighty Queef one too many times. It's got this, I will not speak in Ebonics, I will speak like a learned man vibe. Anytime I see Mighty Keef tweet, it has that energy. Interesting. Very interesting. I'll end the poll for your guys' sake. We'll see how many of you. 50% of you don't have any Irish in you, huh? Interesting. Either that or 50% of you are freaky and just want some Irish in you. All right. So yeah, the replies to this are as exactly as you'd imagine, right? Endymion says, points out that Ubisoft uses Chinese art in their Japanese game. Ubisoft, we're going to sue you now. This is just their last-ditch attempt to silence criticism. That's all it is. If they were confident in their product, they wouldn't try threatening the internet like this. Yeah, it's a 50-50 split. Isn't that pretty, that's pretty interesting, Ryan? You can change that? All right, go for it. Even my side has the option, and my side isn't even that gory. Like, it's pretty, I don't know. It's a silly game. Like, I don't see it being that bad. Do I need to put the green hat on? Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to burp into the microphone. Is the green better or black? I like the black better, but the green just kind of like, it just pops. Okay. I find Japanese entertainment culture kind of odd overall. Japanese-made games that have less score in their violence, but animation seems free reign. Suzano, how are you doing? See, I don't like the green hat as much. The minute that the black one came in the mail, I gave my daughter the green one. I'm like, you can wear this. I don't want to wear the green one. All right. So what, did I finish this tweet? Their last attempt to silence criticism. That's all it is. If they were confident in their product, they wouldn't try threatening the internet. Yep. American Mutt. That's really how I am. So on my maternal side, little genetics lesson, although I've never had the 23andMe stuff because I refuse to give them my DNA. My mom's side, her dad was from Sicily, 100% Sicilian. Her mom was half Irish, half Dutch. My dad's side, who knows? It's an absolute shit show mess. Like, there's so many different ethnic, mix-ups in there. The only thing I know is there's probably not any, like, African American or Indian. There's Native American, but, like, Indian, there's nothing in there. Guys, think about the people that are going to stay up all night waiting for the reviews from journalists that worship Yasuke just like them, people that are emotionally invested in this game. So it's really funny. I was thinking about the whole Yasuke situation. And is there a situation, is there a world, is there a way where they could have tried to do Yasuke as the main character and it didn't seem forced? Both parents, all right. Hey, Wilco Castlevania, the games are better. Dawn of Sorrow, Portrait. Dude, Castlevania traditionally has had a lot of good games, all the way up to Lords of Shadow, which was fantastic. I even bought Lords of Shadow with the DLC on Steam. I haven't played it yet. Lords of Shadow 2 is terrible. One of the worst games I've ever played. Lords of Shadow 2 is complete and utter ass. It's a horrible game. Order of Ecclesia, and also I prefer the neutral American accent. The black stereotype accent is annoying. Yeah. There's people that have a jacked heart rate right now because their ego's tied up in the most key jangling. If you don't buy this, you ain't black. Oh, for real. Dude, John, there are people telling Kata, a black man, that he should like it because he's black. And he's like, why would I care that you put a black character in a video game just because I'm black? Why does that mean that I'll quote unquote see myself in it? They could have advertised it as historically accurate and not historically accurate and not culturally respectful. Okay. Couple big no-nos. And I learned this just watching freaking Shogun. They did it so well. The main character, John, he's walking through the dirt and stuff, and they're like telling him, no, you have to walk on the path with the stones, and the thing with the shrines, and again, having weapons out, and not wearing shoes in certain areas. These are all very simple things. Hey, Blu-ray, happy St. Patty's Day. If Ubisoft didn't claim historical accuracy, many things would have been different. Yeah. Yeah, and again, it's even debatable to what extent Yasuke existed, and certainly not as a samurai. We've already gone through all that literature. I spent a big portion of my videos last year discussing the literature and actual, I mean, we were on prefectures' websites trying to translate things from Japanese to English. Like, there were so many things we went through. It's like selling Lord Nobunaga Oda as a luggage carrier. Oof, yeah, that's not good. So Stuttering Craig says, Dear Ubisoft, this is what everyone calls a bitch move. I'm not saying that as harassment, but simply as criticism of this bitch move you've made to try to curtail mean words or feelings directed at your product. Now, if I was to hypothetically say that your company is a laughingstock and you've burned all good graces within the gaming community and pretty much an entire country, hi Japan, that still wouldn't be harassment, only facts, as that's what's happened very publicly. But if I was to hypothetically say that your company is filled with pee-pee poo-poo heads, that may be considered harassment. But I want to be clear, that's not what I'm saying. Your company is definitely not filled with pee-pee poo-poo heads. You are in fact the company with the least number of pee-pee poo-poo heads. I can't say that like 5 times fast, holy crap. You have so few pee-pee poo-poo heads at your company that you're definitely not on the verge of ruining everything you've built with another financial flop and are not looking to find a way to stay in the business with Tencent Games, who also is definitely not filled with pee-pee poo-poo heads. Good luck, your non-pee-pee-poo-poo launch on Thursday. I'm positive it's going to be amazing. Sincerely, everyone. How many pee-pee-poo-poo heads were in that? Holy crap. Black Samurai, Viking, Shogun, Pharaoh, etc. Guys that shill it. Yeah. Dude, honestly, that's the thing. Only people that are making money off this are a bunch of French white guys. No matter how many copies it sells, it's just a couple months, the dev will just be... I can't... It's skipped up. I couldn't read it. But I get what you're saying. Yeah, Yasuke went from being a slave to a luggage carrier, and that was basically it. He was a showpiece. He was just a thing that they put on display where Nobunaga's like, look at this cool thing that I've got, right? If anything, people should feel very disrespectful or disrespected about Yasuke's treatment in Japan because it's like he wasn't treated like an equal. You understand having issues relating to characters that aren't like me, specifically a man character versus female, doesn't mean I can't enjoy female lead if it's good, but it isn't as relatable. Yeah, and see, that's what I'm saying, Hunter. Like, there are times where I can understand the topic of relatability. There are times. I get it. There are moments where you can make the argument for relatability and how it helps you understand or enjoy media. I can see that. But my counter to that would, I think, both in video games and movies, a well-told story with a compelling character that has depth and meaning and enjoyment and entertainment, you should be able to make anybody relate to any character if you're really good at your job. Like see the best in a horrible character and empathize with an awful villain even if the role is done well, you know? And I'm completely anti making villains the heroes in movies. Like, I think Disney started doing a lot of evil shit back in the day when they tried to make all their villains empathetic characters where you wanted to feel sorry for them. Like, no, let the villains be evil. Don't try to do that. But again, a compelling villain can still be told in a way that's
it is like this tangible thing that you can
entertaining.
Point to and say, hey man, I love you, this many dollars worth.
All of this reminds me of the controversy of Battlefield V. They market this game as historically accurate, but there's women in the battlefield.
100%. Thanks for the 5, Lucia. Happy St. Patty's Day, dude. 100%. Yeah, exactly. What, like, okay, you're gonna get your World War II, 50 versus 50, big first-person shooter game, but by the way, you've got a woman with a robotic hand and an eye patch or some crazy crap like that, right? Video game based on William Adams. Well, isn't Neo the character based on William Adams? I know technically it's not the same, but still. Hey, Remy, yeah, we doing Yasuke today. All I see is the meme with the black guy. He's like, I told you we're doing this today. He was treated highly entitled, in fact, given so many things for free. Your issue is not the game. It's tried to rewrite Wikipedia, pushed in the real world that this was a real world history, basically screwed. Yes, because Susano, like, this was most of my coverage last year. My video that got picked up by Asmongold last year, it was about the fact that Lockley sold the lie, was consulted by Ubisoft on the lie, and then went back to Wikipedia to try to use himself as a source to edit the articles that he himself was editing with Wikipedia. Everything about it, was absolutely a lie. women with prosthetics in a combat role. Yeah, Remy, it was a complete and utter cluster, you know. It was a complete shit show. So yeah. Legendary Drops. Guys, is Legendary Drops good? I never ever watch his content. Like, I don't even think I follow him on Twitter. I don't think I do. Says, what constitutes as harassment, Ubisoft? Be clear, because you're apparently creating a task force of corporate surveillance with preemptive legal threats. While I'm all for protecting your devs from attacks, this sounds like a veiled threat against criticism. YouTube as a platform doesn't... Here's where I think this really matters. Forget about the whole they can sue you for harassment thing, right, guys? That is not at all something I'm worried about. I don't think that they're going to go out of their way to track somebody down across the world and send a lawyer to say, you criticized us on our recent video game, we're going to sue you, right? No. YouTube as a platform doesn't have much in the way of channel protections. If someone on their team doesn't like the flavor of criticism and strikes a channel, there's little recourse for the creator. By not being clear, this essentially discourages any criticism out of fear. That is what they want. Pretty on point? Good. Hey, Smeg. He's the only good gaming commentary video essay channel. Fantastic. I'll have to follow him. I'll have to watch some of his stuff then. Yeah, no, they can't, Susanna. What are they going to do? But you would generally never watch gaming content if Legendary Drops went away and the only option left was stuff like Scallop or Hypnotic or Smash JT. Oh, that's hype. I got to go watch his stuff then. No, the US won't. At least not under the current situation, current administration. But what about YouTube? What about the current system? I got to switch back to the black hat. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know if you guys even care, but I like the black hat better. It fits nicer, too. It's very smooth. Well, what could Ubisoft sue Japan for, though? Yeah, they like jurisdiction. William Adams did more. You're not wrong. You subbed to him after an Asmongold video? Oh, cool. I'll have to... Yeah, you guys, that's a lot of recommendations. How strong is the brew? Currently for me, oh, it's not that strong. It's just that I skipped dinner, and it's way later than I would usually drink at all, so. Oh. And you know, if you had Guinness, you understand. It's meaty. It bites back. I typically prefer like a blonde, like a lager, Hefeweizen. If you guys have ever had Leinenkugel's Summer Shandy, that stuff in the summertime, most refreshing beer you can ever get. Really good. You like the black cap? I like it better, yeah. Cosplaying as Luigi. Oh my god, have you seen that meme of Luigi where it's that one bro who always takes off his hat and looks like this, and it's Luigi, but he's got a completely bald head, except he's got like the whole Friar Tuck haircut. I'm like, that's what I probably looked like when I took the hat off. You love Guinness Draught? Hell yeah. Hey, have you tried Guinness's American draft? I think they call it. It's just a blonde. Maybe that's what you're talking about. Yeah, really good beer. So, Jeremy Prime, D-Day Cobra from Geeks and Gamers, pulled this video back up and said Ubisoft hired the bully hunters. Do you guys remember this? I got to play this for you because this is impossibly cringe. Okay. This was a thing a couple of years ago, and I forgot about it. But apparently these people, you could contact them if you were being harassed and bullied online. Get a load of this, guys. Hang on.
For what may happen.
Let me get the volume up.
While casual gamers are playing, they may experience harassment. When that happens, we'll be alerted. They'll also call on a bully hunter. A bully hunter will jump into their game and take on harassment head on. They'll hunt down and take out the perpetrator. You heard that correctly. Bully hunters will get these harassers where it hurts them the most, by beating bullies at their own game. Will it happen tonight while you are watching? We don't know, but odds are yes, since it's already happened several times in the past 4 hours.
That's right. We've been here for the past 4 hours recording everything.
You guys remember this? Is this from like a couple years ago? Is this post 2020? I can't remember. Is this even still a thing? Was this the ones that rolled into Canary Mission? I don't know. All I know about this one is I remember seeing this video a few years ago, and I could not believe that this was actually a thing, right?
Show you something that happened a little bit earlier today.
Okay, control room, can you bring up that footage, please, and hit play?
I'm gonna look it up while we're talking about it.
We are looking at the play from our casual gamer, the Rose Thorn. Let's watch what happens. Take a look.
You dumb whore, learn how to play the fucking game properly. All that and you still suck. I guess girls just suck at video games in general, stupid whore.
This is a type of harassment that over 21 million female gamers have experienced. It was at this moment when we saw that it was not just trash talking. It was straight up harassment.
Bully Hunters organizers shutdown campaign. Oh. It doesn't exist anymore. That's so sad. That is such a shame. Oh, what a nice idea that was.
So that's when the Rose Thorn, our casual gamer, decided to
Yeah, this is like from 2016. This is really old. I remember seeing this video, but I forgot about it. No, Lucia, this was a real thing that they were trying to get created, right? Now, again, I think that they intentionally like set up this entire situation, but no, this was a real like promotional video.
Of our bully hunters. What the Rose Thorn did in this case was use our new tool on her mobile device. We'll show you later how our tool works. But let's see what happens now. So the bully hunter has now been alerted and should be joining the game soon. Okay, pause right there. Now zoom in to the bottom left corner.
So, seems like a huge troll. Honestly, it could have just been like a cash grab. I'm sure that somebody at this organization took it seriously, but yeah. This is picked up. I could see people being bullies to get the Pinkertons on the stream like a 5-star GTA. Oh. She sucks ass at CS. I'd know she deserved flame. Yeah, think about the game that they're playing here, too. This is one of like these highly competitive games. Of course you're going to get shit talked during this game.
It says our bully hunter has just entered the game. See, bully hunter 77 has joined the game. Now our victim, the Rose Thorn, and our bully hunter can communicate with one another. Let's take a look at how that plays out. Now let's zoom out and roll the footage, please.
Oh, a troll for the rest of us?
Pause
Okay,
right
yeah,
there
I got
again,
you.
Please. Now, our bully hunter has asked the Rose Thorn live in-game who is harassing her. And our victim then immediately replied. Let's zoom in again on the bottom left.
Think about this. They're literally referring to the person being quote unquote harassed as a victim. Do you realize how retarded this is? This entire concept? This is why, first of all, not just because they're younger, but to protect my kids' ears and shit that they hear online, I tell them, if you're ever playing an online game, just mute the chat. So my kids go into a lobby, they instantly mute the chat. That's it. They press the F key on the keyboard or hit mute on the controller, and that's it, right? Because there are people who are going to say all sorts of messed up shit online, and it's just part of being on the internet. So you just hit mute. You just don't engage with it, right? It's that simple. It is that easy. You're probably going after the bully hunters, yeah.
Hand corner. Now, you see there, the tool connected these two, a victim with a bully hunter. Okay, so now bully hunter 77 knows the name of the harasser, and she is ready to take action. Now we are going to switch over to bully hunter 77 screen to watch the hunt. Cut to that feed, please, and play it. So we are watching our bully hunter. She knows who the harasser is, and she is on the hunt. You can still hear the harassment in the background. It doesn't stop. So now bully hunter 77 is looking for the harasser. And it looks like she's going to use her knife, folks. And there it is, just pause right.
Here's the other funny part. This is the part I find hilarious. The bully hunter is a woman, supposedly. She's going to use her knife. How much you want to bet this dude, because it is definitely a guy playing this game, is like some 400-pound like neckbeard who probably hates women, but they're paying him a ton of money so that he can go on here and just attack people and shit on people online all day, right? Like, seriously. This idea that, oh, if you contact us, we're going to send a female advocate to come bully the online games for you. They think it's some, you know, social media celebrity, some chick who's got like the fake eyelashes and makeup and, you know, everything else. It's probably some sweaty 400-pound dude living in his mom's basement. Okay. They randomly switch maps. When they switch to the Bully Hunter POV, it's the first... Well, I think that they have to join the next match or whatever. I don't know. Private server? Yeah. Cost too much that these people were paid. So Hunter, you could have a point if it's a private server and they're doing this to show how it would work. But how would that even work? Because again, if you're playing in random lobbies, how do you contact the Bully Hunter to go get into the right lobby to kill the person, right? None of that would work. None of that would make any sense.
Right there, let's back up and see that again. A brilliant knife move, very difficult. And look right there, see in the lower left-hand corner, let's pause that and zoom into that. Our Bully Hunter left the calling card message to the harasser. Harassment is not a game.
Wait for my favorite part of the video here.
Now that's what this is all.
She starts clapping and you hear like 3 people clapping and it's like, yeah, you got the random like camera guy standing there in the background clapping. Literally only works in a non-full deathmatch lobby. Yeah. Okay, you guys, I mean, I think about this all the time. All the bad Hollywood films that get greenlit that lose hundreds of millions of dollars. And I go, okay, people want to attack Elon Musk and go, why doesn't he just solve world hunger? They want to go after anybody else who has money and go, why don't you give your money to Gaza or give your money to AIDS research or solve cancer or something? And it's like, think about all the money that's wasted on this random stuff, right? Oh, very cringe. So stunning, so brave. It's like, wow. Dude, I forgot. I had like Irish stuff brought up here. I had like crap, I had Irish quotes. I had some fun facts about St. Patrick. I got completely sidetracked. I forgot to do any of these things. Oh, maybe we'll do them at the end of the stream. I don't know what they're applauding. I have no idea. It's just so sad. So, going into further discourse around Assassin's Creed Shadows, because this has become a thing. Anytime you've got a big box office film, big AAA video game coming out, they activate the bots on Twitter, on social media, because they want to create artificial buzz for the game, right? They want to create artificial hype. They have to create something in the algorithm that says, people want this. You want this even if you don't know it. BAC is Valve's anti-cheat. They're implying the Bully Hunter is so good that they're hacking, which, to be fair, CS players call hacks constantly. But think about the ethical question there. You're going to hire a Bully Hunter to hack the system and cheat, essentially, to get into a lobby to bully somebody else. That's like not very ethical if you think about it. When you censor and ban the bullies, you lose player base, and that's not good for business. Well, here's the thing. I think people who cheat online, as far as like in multiplayer games, if your account gets banned, I have no sympathy for you. You want to mod your own game, go for it. But people who are quote-unquote bullies in a multiplayer game, I don't care. Mute them. Don't play with them. If you're playing a game where somebody is playing by the rules and they're just far better at it than you are, and they're playing like a dick and they're constantly killing you over and over again, and you can't do anything and they're teabagging you, does that feel good? No, it doesn't feel good. So you know what you don't do? You don't join in another lobby that has them in it. You leave the lobby and go to a different lobby. It's like, this is not that hard. This is not that complicated, you know? Oh, I remember hearing about that they're going to monitor the RAM on your computer. That guy was asking about a comment that the bully had made in game chat where he typed get vac banned after dying to the Bully Hunter. Oh, well, I don't know. Yeah, mute. Mute is your best friend. It's your best option. It's like how we fight racism with racism. That's the equivalent of Bully Hunters. Yeah, exactly. So Master of the TDS, who says, I also am very much human and excited for the Assassin's Creed Shadows. The gameplay is stealth action, the visuals are graphic, and the characters are dynamic. I will engage in much playing upon release. Great job, team. And of course, account after account after account after account regurgitating the same message day after day, with, of course, slight variations about how excited they all are waiting for Assassin's Creed Shadows, right? Intel does that? Well, I have 2 AMDs and an Intel, so the Intel is only because that's what was in the Lenovo that died, so I just put that back in my kid's computer. You don't play multiplayer? I play multiplayer occasionally, you know? Silent professional, leave the voice chat on, let them cry. Yeah, but it doesn't work that way if I'm getting crapped on in the game. They look like they complain about their ex-boyfriends. You're not wrong there. Nobody likes Intel. There are some people out there, like there are still people engaging in the console war. There are still some people who like Intel. I don't know why, but it's still a thing apparently. So Grum says, if you buy Assassin's Creed Shadows and leave a negative review, they might sue you. I guess we've moved on from hating customers to actively taking them to court. Great strategy, Ubisoft. Again, they can't sue you, but they just want the threat of that to scare people. And this is what we're talking about. So, you know, Mr. Hardcore mode on Discord, he was talking earlier. And by the way, I think we're going to try to get him on a Wednesday. I can't remember if I said Wednesday today or not. We'll see if that works out. There's this tweet here where this guy's like, Yasuke doesn't mess around in Assassin's Creed Shadows, does he? One of the most brutal finishers I've seen in any Assassin's Creed game. So we were talking about this a second ago, guys, about the level of dismemberment and decapitation in this game. Now, as a gamer, for me, do I like dismemberment and decapitation? Yes. Yes, absolutely do. Okay? I got told your mechanics suck, bro, dying in a CS deathmatch today, and it motivated me to win the next format with... Yeah, exactly. Use it as motivation, you know? Love hearing people rage when you teabag them. Okay, but again, the whole point of teabagging is you know the other person's not enjoying it, okay? So if you're in a lobby where it bothers you, leave the lobby, you know? That's all I'm saying. Don't report them for harassment. But yeah, so Kangman Lee says a black man assaulting an Asian in broad daylight, what else is new? So I say again, is the issue that it's a black character attacking an Asian character? Is it the issue the level of dismemberment and violence? Because another thing Ubisoft is hyping up hardcore in this game. The amount that they're hyping up is the level of brutality at which Yasuke can attack other people. So if you're saying, okay, here we have our first game set in feudal Japan. We have our first protagonist in feudal Japan, which is, a big black man. Okay. And he's dismembering people left and right, which is already kind of a touchy issue for Japanese video games. Is it deliberate? Is it, not a big deal? Is it just, well, it's a video game in the modern era where we make a lot of dismemberment in games? Is that just, I don't know, guys. Just depends on the game, yeah. I don't think anyone wanted Assassin's Creed in Japan to play as a non-Japanese. That was my biggest thing. Is like, why are we playing as somebody who's not from Japan? That doesn't make any sense. Oh, that Guinness is still biting back. Holy crap. So again, that's a whole issue on its own, right? Okay. Mari brings up a perfect point. And this to me is the issue. This to me is the problem with the entire premise. Ubisoft creates a game set in Japan. They take a gigantic black man who may have lived at some point in this period. Again, the facts around his life, what little we have, are very, very muddy, right? We don't know a whole lot. They're going to portray him as this legendary warrior, and you add into the fact that they have all this dismemberment and violence. The female character is not particularly attractive, doesn't look very feminine. They definitely made her look more androgynous, which again is a deliberate choice. So when you combine these two things, you go, these two characters, the female protagonist and the black man, are being used as a shield by Ubisoft to deflect from criticism. They've been doing this for a solid year now, right? Deliberate and complete. Yasuke gameplay feels out of place in Assassin's Creed, where Ghost of Tsushima gameplay feels like samurai combat. No, Yasuke's combat just looks like you're going to bludgeon everything to death. It just looks like bull in a china shop. Like, okay, we're just going to go, break through this building, smash these guys' heads in, which in the right setting might work, You can do it in Rise of Ronin. Not sure if I remember for Tsushima. Are we talking about dismemberment? Or are we talking about, destructibility? So, Lugia, like any other Assassin's Creed games, you can attack innocent people, I guess, but the game will desynchronize because oh my god, I'm drawing a blank. What did they call the Nexus? It wasn't the Nexus. How you connect to your ancestral memories. I can't remember the Animus. Was it the Animus? You haven't got around to it? Dude, I played Ghosts of Tsushima twice on PC. I still haven't gotten back to it yet either. If Yasuke used Ghost of Tsushima gameplay in Japanese setting, but see, here's the thing, Mahendra, they wanted to distinguish between Naoe and Yasuke, so they weren't going to do that. Let me see here. Who did I miss? I guess I can't unsee the racial aspect. If it was a Japanese samurai, I probably wouldn't have overlooked it. I mean, you would have overlooked it, yeah. Oh, the shinobi, she's terrible looking. She just looks like a man. Even the bloody samurai, Miyamoto Musashi, didn't go after civilians that much at all. And again, I understand the whole, oh, well, you're in control of the buttons you push, and therefore, Animus, thank you. Therefore, they should have made the shrines non-destructible. You know, again, the much easier thing to figure out. Do fixed paths for places where they're not supposed to walk, or those kind of things. Cultural understanding would have, you know, gotten rid of a lot of this criticism. They just didn't do it. They didn't do their homework. Could be the anus. I liked the Animus thing, dude. I didn't hate that. I liked the first few Assassin's Creed games a lot. Oh, dismemberment, okay. You can't attack citizens in Assassin's Creed games since Origins. Oh, interesting. I didn't know that. So now it's a thing that they've added back in. You played Assassin's Creed Odyssey and Valhalla to brain dead LARP as a Greek and Viking. Kind of hard to LARP as a Japanese samurai when it's a black. Oh my god, that's yeah, good point. They blatantly went out of their way to make Yasuke the protagonist. Their cries of harassment will just fuel the fire. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. They just added a fake beard to a shinobi game. You can't shoot Jews church on Last of Us Part 2. Did you know that? I didn't play the Last of Us game, so I don't care. Oh, Hidden One's an asshole. Hidden One is something else entirely. This dude, he's got like 120,000 subscribers on YouTube. The man is a complete ass on Twitter. So here he goes saying someone close to the devs told... Now this is an insider. This is a guy who's massive Ubisoft shill. This dude gets access. He's getting his review copy in a day or two, he said. Someone close to the devs told me a month ago that the discourse has mentally affected them to the point where some are struggling with depression and relying on psychologists. Okay, remember, like what, half the Ubisoft team on this game never made a game before? These are fragile people. These are fragile people. Like very fragile, okay? I get that it's easy to laugh at Ubisoft because of the slop they've put out recently, but seeing actual regular devs and employees who are just following orders go through this is messed up, and it's not even Ubisoft, it goes for all studios. Of course, the unusual people in the replies and grifters are celebrating and mocking this, which is to be expected from them. They see all 19,000 devs as the one single thing that should be grouped together. Okay, Ubisoft is a very anti-gamer, anti-consumer company. These people work for a company that is anti-gamer and anti-consumer. Unfortunately, good people are going to be caught in the mix. Guys, I spoke at length with a developer from Deck 9 who was just doing his job on Life is Strange Double Exposure. The man was just doing his job, trying to keep his head down and not lose his job because everybody had, was out for blood in that company because they were doing this witch hunt inside the company because there weren't enough woke people working on the game. So his ass was on the line just to get his job done before they found out that he wasn't like hook, line, and sinker with all the woke bullshit. So there are truly good, decent people that are working at these companies, sure. But if they can't take the criticism that comes with putting out a product that costs hundreds of millions of dollars, is being marketed all over the world, because these games are bigger in some ways than certain Hollywood films, okay, that cost equal amounts of money. The video game industry is massive. You have your hands as a member of this company, you know, in the middle of this project. If you cannot take the criticism without relying on psychologists, I'm sorry. That's not my concern. Ubisoft gave birth to Sweet Baby Inc., yeah. Make Darwin great. It's kind of weird devs actually had time to even know what people were saying. So much for grind, right? Or crunch, as they call it. They aren't adult enough? No, they really aren't. Not everyone who works at these places is scum. Sure, absolutely, you're going to have good people mixed in with the bad. But again, the good people are going to look around and go, yeah, I get it. I understand the criticism because I work with a bunch of freaks. They know. I can see maybe the community managers, the marketing people taking issue, but they kind of don't belong in the job if they can't handle the talk. That's the job. Right, so on one respect, the community manager or social media person for Assassin's Creed Shadows kind of like dunking on Grums the other day and you know, kind of shit posting on him. That I actually kind of like seeing that, although it doesn't necessarily scream professional coming from a professional company. To engage in banter with people who are critical, at least from a light-hearted sense of like position, I can kind of respect that in a way. Because it means that you're willing to at least kind of like engage in the banter, if nothing else, without being fragile about it. I think reviews come out tomorrow. Point me out to the devs who are being harassed, not being the CEO, yeah. It was annoying when one streamer was like, not everyone, yeah. My drink is black at the beginning, I saw green. No, it's Guinness, it's dark. It's dark beer. And it tastes dark. There are places that do green beer for St. Paddy's Day, but you'd have to be drinking a blonde beer with food dye in it, because you could never put enough green dye into Guinness to make it change any color. They typically know a lot of the criticism is not geared towards them. It's not them who are needing therapy. 100%. 100%. And this guy that I knew from Deck 9, he never once told me, oh, I'm so sick and tired of hearing people complain about it. He was like, yeah, no, dude, these people are nuts. Is Ubisoft paying for these therapy sessions? Probably. So, this is, again, I don't know if this is something he typed up or a message that he got. It says, I've been told that developers find this climate of hatred stressful. Some have relied on psychologists to get through the period. I'm so sorry for all the burping, guys. It's no fun for them to see certain videos because they are a great source of misinformation that they cannot personally refute without ending up as public targets. Well, it's not your job as a developer to refute it. Sorry, the Italian hands are coming out tonight, guys. It's not your job to refute it. You're a freaking developer. Do some developing. Ignore everything outside. Here's the thing. Love them or hate them. Most of the developers, Daniel Vavra aside, because he went way off the deep end. Most of the developers at Warhorse Studio, did you hear any of them coming out and attacking people, complaining about criticism? No, they kept their heads down. And whether you love the game or hate it, whether you think it's awesome or a woke piece of shit, the game did well, and 99.9% of the company did not stoop down to the level of engaging in personal attacks or flinging mud at people because they put their head down and they just did their job, right? Whether you love the final product or not, 99% of the developers from Warhorse Studio did not engage in online discourse. Why are these developers at Ubisoft any different, right? To be fair, I'm more Italian than I am Irish, okay? Like I said, my grandfather was from Sicily, so I am 25% at least Italian. Just saying. We've had this conversation about Smash JT and whether or not he's a bigger Guido than I am. He might look more Italian than me, but I don't know. Oh yeah, Saber too. 100%. Dude, Saber had a trans person, complete wacko, somebody that tried to boycott Hogwarts Legacy when it came out, working on the script for Space Marine 2 for a while, okay? Just saying. Oh yeah, Japanese developers don't have time for that. They really don't. Let's see, it says, Ubisoft has made psychology services available in several studios to address this problem. I don't know how many employees are depressed. My friends have told me that they have gotten along very well in the company. Among them, the DEI is normal because they are a multicultural team united by a common goal. There's no such thing as political agendas or conspiracies. Can I just call bullshit on this? Somebody from Ubisoft saying that they have no political goal or agenda. Yeah, he was let go pretty early on. That is true. That is true. Ishi. Even the smallest restaurant or food court do complaint management and service recovery. Yeah. This claim has too many issues the more you think about it. Well, it sounds like BS. Ira Italian. Yeah. Yeah, you shouldn't even engage with the public if you're under contract, right? All right, Ryan, take it easy, dude. I got an hour till midnight here. Hopefully we're done by then. We'll see. Although I don't know how late Smash is streaming. Oh god, I gotta be prepared. Maybe we can try to be done before Smash raids me. Or we'll get lucky and he won't. We'll see. I hate to say that, saying, you know, get lucky and he won't raid me. I love Smash, don't get me wrong. It's just the fact that if he does that, I feel like I can't go to bed anytime soon because then I have all the people in his chat that came over here. So, normally more than just NDA play, moral clauses, restrictions in place, and so on. Yeah, I could raid Smash. Yeah, if I knew how to use the raid function. I know how to do it on Twitch. I know everything about Twitch because I did that for years. I know nothing about how to do that on YouTube. Oh yeah, Smeg, at this point, Ubisoft can go straight to hell. I wouldn't care. I wouldn't cry. I would admit, or I would say, you know, it sucks for the people who are good people who work there, but... So, prime example, okay? This is one of the... We'll do full face cam for this because this is one of these tangents I kind of want to go on. I had somebody I know, I've known for her for years now from Twitch. She streams like Age of Empires is all she would stream. Now she hasn't streamed in like months because she's been busy. But she's a pretty liberal. She knows I voted for Trump and I'm very much on the opposite side politically, but we do see eye to eye on a lot of other things. And so we can have good conversation and discourse, talk about stocks and the economy and family and whatnot. And she was saying the other day about how, oh, you know, it really sucks because I know this federal employee and, you know, she's just been notified that with all the cuts Trump's doing that she lost her job. And it just sucks because I know now how's she going to pay her bills and this and that. I'm like, first off, most of those federal employees probably got a massive severance or something sizable, right? A lot of them, I'm sure got like a 6-month paid leave or paid severance, whatever. Further beyond that, it's like, you do realize that, you know, you want to make more money, you want to pay less taxes, you want to invest and have a better economy and all these things. The one thing that we can all agree on, or should be able to agree on, to do that is to have a smaller government, to have less money coming out of our pockets, to not have as many federal employees wasting our taxpayers' dollars doing nothing, right? But she was just like, I know, but it's just so sad. I'm like, okay, your sadness for this person, that person should have never had that job to begin with. That person should have started a business. That person should have worked for somebody else's business, should have worked for a small business or done something or gone to trade school. No, I'm not going to feel sympathy for people who have been sucking our taxpayer dollars dry for years to sit around and do nothing because our bureaucracy is completely ineffective at doing their job. And all we do every year is go further and further and further into debt. So in a way, I kind of look at people in Ubisoft losing their jobs in the same way. Yes, I can feel sorry for the people. I can feel sorry for people who lose their jobs. But it's like, you're talking about a person who should have never had that position to be. Unlike Ubisoft, who once used to be a good company, who has done good products, and there are still a demand for good people, qualified people in the video game industry. I'm not going to feel sorry for a federal employee who got thrown out on her ass with a large severance so that she can then go, you know, live off unemployment possibly after that. Like, come on. Anyways, that was just my thought on the whole situation because I'm like, I'm hearing people like, whatever. It's annoying. Yeah, they also get unemployment, exactly. But yeah, it's not our problem. Apparently that person didn't do anything last week. Yeah, right? 100%. That really, government employees got too comfortable thinking they couldn't lose their jobs. That's the whole bureaucracy, man. And there's the unemployment benefits and everything else. They were inflating jobs growth the last decade or so by hiring in government. Yes, this was that whole thing after COVID. Biden's like, well, we got all these new jobs. No, you made government jobs. You didn't stimulate the economy for businesses to go out and hire more people. You just are paying them through the government. It's not the same thing. Haphazard way is done for publicity ends up costing. I mean, oblivion, that's possible. I haven't seen the numbers. I like the idea of cutting government jobs. I like the idea of making a smaller government and getting rid of regulation. Unfortunately, I don't know that it's being done in a cost-effective manner. So I should sue Ubisoft for Immortal. Game turned me gay. Are we talking about Phoenix Rising? Was that the same game? I can't remember. Remember, I'm most of the way through my Guinness right now. I'm a little tipsy. Because that game looked so gay. That looked like the gayest Greek game you could ever play. Like, holy crap. I saw that game come out and I'm like, this is like if Fortnite and Greek mythology had a baby. Like, who wants to play this? And then people were like, oh, it's a good game. I'm like, I don't care. I just can't. Ubisoft was peak until 2012. That's been 13 years, you realize. It's been a long time. Yeah, normies are finally catching on, John. They really are. For some reason, when it comes to gaming a company, we lay off 2 janitors and we get 500 articles about it the next day. For real, dude. 100%. Okay. So he said, it's true that Ubisoft has so many studios, but all the hate they heard in this video is absolutely bullshit for what they have experienced after years and years in the company. From my point of view, though, I have really seen their outlook change in recent years. It's as if this misinformation and hatred is slowly turning them off. Good! So these people will leave. Fantastic. That's awesome. Who pays someone to just sit around? Not me. Every jobless teenager across the planet just pretending to be so invested in the job losses of the stress. They use the modern language in that game. Oh, really? They do? Oh, hang on. Is it like freaking Prey? Where on Prey, everyone's like talking like LA college students or some crap? That movie was terrible. People that said Prey was good, I was like, what are you smoking? Like, what is wrong with you? What is this? I got a spam bot that says, greetings Top G. Your quotes are top notch. Are you also a fellow glitch trying to escape the Matrix? Are you interested in increasing your income and breaking free from the Matrix? Oh my God. Wow. Hey, did you tag me in it, Blu-ray, or did you DM it to me? Because I don't see it in my DMs. I'll check again later. Anyways, so here's prime example, guys. This is a lot of the conversation that we've had. Prey was not all right. Prey was bad. No, Prey was really bad. It's one of the worst. It's one of the absolute worst Predator movies of all time. Okay, it was really awful. I'm sorry, I get it. I understand that Predator has been in a very bad situation for a long time. But Prey is really bad, okay?
Do I need to be liked? Absolutely not.
Oh, holy crap.
I like to be. Do I need to be liked? Absolutely not. I like to be liked. I enjoy being liked.
Oh.
I have to be liked.
Dude, Smeg with the 5 gifted memberships. Holy crap, dude. Thank you so much, man. Report. Yeah, we should report the Top G. No, it's some spam bot pretending to be a Top G. Yeah, I didn't see the clip. I don't know if you dimmed it to me on Twitter or what, dude. But Smeg, dude, thank you so much, man. That's freaking awesome. Very generous of you. No. Guys, Prey the movie. It was the Predator movie set with the Native American, the Comanches. And every single one of the dudes looks like some soy fop that you could get from some university campus in LA or some shit like that. They look like a bunch of like UC Berkeley students that they dragged out and that pretend to be like Comanche warriors. Not a single ounce of muscle. I'm talking like, no, not bodybuilders because it's like, early, Americas. But none of them looked masculine. Like they looked a bunch of flamers. It was terrible. You got the crap Predator Iron Man suit at the end was worse. The Predator was the worst. The Predator, with like the 9-foot tall Predator, is the worst Predator movie. You are absolutely right. Alien vs. Predator might be one of the most boring. Alien vs. Predator 2, legit. I went through recently, watched all the Predator movies with my wife. Alien vs. Predator 2 is up there towards the top half in my personal opinion. The movie's bad. but it's really enjoyable for some reason. Part of it's because they have like the Pred-Alien hybrid thing at the end of it or whatever, but still. Most of the Predator movies, let's be honest, are not good. First two, sure. Beyond that, no. Prey the game, I didn't play Prey the game. I really need to. But no, the Prey movie was horrible. The girl was hot. Come on, man. That's not enough. That's not enough. It can't be just because the girl was hot. Dude, I couldn't even enjoy it like from a neutral standpoint because they have like the CG animals, the bear, the wolf, they all look terrible. Dude, Alien vs. Predator 2 that's exactly it. Okay? It was just brutal. Everybody gets it in that movie, you know? Whereas Alien vs. Predator 1 is just like the most boring drudge of a movie I've ever watched in my life. And I saw that one in theater. And I went back, hadn't watched it again since I saw it in theater. I went back and watched it, and I'm like, this movie is really dog shit, like really boring. Like I knew it wasn't good, but like really bad. So, back onto this topic of Ubisoft. We're not even gonna get through all my topics I brought up here tonight. Holy crap. Okay. Yeah, the girl didn't look terrible. I get it.
Do I need to be liked?
I get it, guys.
Absolutely not.
I get it.
I like to be liked. I enjoy being liked.
I respect.
I have to be liked.
The attractive women. I get it. Blu-ray, thank you for joining, dude. Last Hollywood movie I watched was Deadpool versus Wolverine and dubbed. Dude, I haven't even watched that movie yet. I don't even care to watch it, to be honest. Mari, the first one it's 1980s action, suspense, alien sci-fi. So it is what it is. It is a classic. It is fantastic for the time that it was made, but it's very old. Predator 2 takes a couple times watching it, in my opinion, to actually enjoy the movie. It's more like what the 80s thought a sci-fi would look like in the future. So like it's set in current Earth, but they have like the weapons look more futuristic for the police and stuff. And then the rest of the Predator movies, you'd have to watch them for yourself to make that determination. Most of them are really bad. Horny bonks for all the chat. Thank you, Zav. See, that's what the mod is here for, is to give horny bonks to everybody. American Society of Magical Negroes. Oh my god. I forgot you made that AI song, Wild. I haven't even used that on the channel yet. Okay, so going back. Dude, the Guinness makes it even easier to be sidetracked. If I had a one drink before every stream or on every stream, I would never get anything done. This is the thing. I don't drink, like, ever. It's just not something I do. With the Crohn's disease, I probably shouldn't. And with other nerve issues I have from my back injury, makes it difficult. But, okay. This person here quote tweeted the whole thing from 80 Level talking about Ubisoft suing people who are harassing them, right? Says, true story. When Assassin's Creed Mirage came out, I was told to get physically assaulted and murdered because me and the team decided to have blue roofs on certain buildings and it wasn't completely accurate. So yeah, protect developers. She says, this post is making numbers, so some points. I don't work for Ubisoft anymore, so no questions, comments about shadows. Those roofs were accurate, just a tad later than the setting of Mirage. Everything religious, cultural was respected. Let's spread love for devs. Also, all love to my fellow Ubisoft devs. Good luck with your projects. Also, check out my work, looking for work, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Claims people said that they wanted to murder her and do far worse things to her, right? Weren't you talking about beer just an hour ago? Well, it's the same one. It's the same can of Guinness. We've been streaming for... Where's the timer at? I don't know. We've been on here for over an hour. Hour and a half at this point. It's 2025 and we're still pretending to take death threats on the internet seriously. Well, not just that. Not just that. It's not just taking them seriously. It's whether or not we even have receipts. So this person, do not... Disclaimer. Do not message this person. Do not. Okay? At all. And I did a quick overview of her Twitter account. Nothing super offensive. I mean, she's typical liberal, whatever. She has some stuff further down here about like black hairstyles and all sorts of things, right? Okay, whatever. She's a developer, environmental artist. Okay, whatever. She was an environmental artist on Assassin's Creed Mirage, and she didn't get brought back for Shadows. So clearly, she's not in high demand. Can we be honest about that? It also says in BGE2. Do you know what BGE2 is? Beyond Good and Evil 2, a game that as of right now is basically stuck in development hell. So this girl's work credit was working as an environmental artist on Mirage, claims that there were death threats and threats of violence against her, and his only other credit she has in the video game industry that she puts on there is a game that isn't even coming out, most likely. And here's the thing. I found this tweet of hers from earlier last year, which actually is positive. So there's another article from 80 Level that says Ubisoft's director of subscriptions believes players need to start feeling comfortable with not owning their games. That's the consumer shift that needs to happen. And she said no. And she says, as in no gamers will never give up on owning their games, and thinking otherwise is stupid. We need to protect physical copies and ownership of what we buy based, right? So not every one of these people, despite their own, weirdo proclivities and politics or whatever, hates gamers. I would say that is a very, very based, neutral way to feel about it, right? Lilith trans alert, maybe. Although I saw pictures of her on her profile, I don't think it's a transgender person. I think it's a woman, based on what I saw. But still, that being said, you could go either way at this point. Who knows? Looking for work, it all sums up. Right, okay, so here's the thing. You sub in the chat crashes out. I'm sorry, Blu-ray. I'm sorry, dude. Sometimes that happens to me where when it goes to process the payment for the membership, it'll like close YouTube entirely for me or whatever. Night Monster and things like that. Well, I was asking if it's her actual name. Oh, yeah. Their PR for BGE2 was good. Yeah, I don't know if that's a her. Yeah, exactly. 10 a.m. in the USA? No. You mean 10 p.m. It's where I am, it's 11:15 p.m. almost. Have we never heard anything like this from FromSoft devs or Nintendo devs or even Monster Hunter devs? But again, no screenshots, no receipts. This is not something I remember hearing about at all when Mirage came out, right? The not so minimal tier is WoW. Isn't that the base tier? Or is it the middle tier? No, it's the middle tier. Oh shit, dude. Thank you so much, man. To be honest, after I put those and set those and named them, I didn't even remember what the names were. That's how much effort I put into it, apparently. So my point is, she could be lying or she could be telling the truth about this. But it's somebody who clearly wasn't valuable enough to bring back on for Assassin's Creed Shadows or whatever. And Ubisoft has bigger issues, bigger fish to fry than other things like claims of abuse from Assassin's Creed Mirage, right? Again, 80 Level, they have a lot of articles on Ubisoft. It says, former top executives to go on trial for workplace abuse and harassment. This is from March 10th, guys. Okay? Or is this from, when's the article from? Let me see what the date is. Published March 11th. So there are still big names from Ubisoft that are all in legal trouble. The executives in question are ex-chief creative officer Sergei Hesko, VP of Editorial and Creative Services Thomas Francois, and game director Guillaume Patru. Guillaume Patru, I don't know how to pronounce that in French. All three had been with the studio for over a decade, and they were once considered the company's second in command, this dude here. The trio faces allegations of a decade-long pattern of nearly daily public humiliation, hazing, abuse, and sexual harassment. Francois is accused of the most severe misconduct among the three. Allegations against him including attempting to pressure a newly hired employee into performing a handstand in an open office while wearing a skirt, tying the same woman to a chair and sending her to another floor in an elevator, forcibly trying to kiss a young employee during a Christmas party, while she was restrained by colleagues, openly watching pornography in the office, making numerous attempts to kiss employees, and using derogatory slurs towards staff members. French, right? Guillaume. Yeah. Like, so if you want to know why Ubisoft has sucked for a long time, for a really long time, these dudes are still on trial, okay? Like, use this as a backdrop for what's going on with Shadows, with what's going on with, oh, we're gonna sue people over harassment, right? Not sure if those are the same peeps, but some stuff like that did happen, sadly. Well, they're saying that it was... Well, I mean, it may not be these exact same 3 people, but they named 3 names and they put these guys on here, so I don't know. Sounds like a normal day in the office, yeah. Yeah, it's terribly evil. It's awful. Haskell, meanwhile, is being accused of posing intrusive questions of a sexual nature, as well as racist comments and behavior, with a report citing an example of him allegedly asking a Muslim employee if she agreed with the ideas of ISIS. And changing her computer desktop background to images of bacon sandwiches. Oh my god, okay. I'm gonna pretend that I don't find that funny. Wow. So yeah, all that being said, that has led to where we are now, where Ubisoft's stock value is like at a massive 5-year low practically. It was only lower September of last year, it looks like. Like, my god, what a mess. Right, Smeg, I'm trying not to laugh about that because I'm like, that's actually really funny. Oh yeah, no, it's still abuse, absolutely. It's still wildly unprofessional and something that you absolutely should not do in a corporate setting or in a situation where you're employing somebody. Even if you're like a mom and pop shop, you don't go and hire a Muslim person and then try to haze them and pretend to like put bacon in front of them. That's not cool. But yeah, no, absolutely. So that's kind of it for Ubisoft. I did want to bring up something real quick if you guys hadn't seen this yet, because this is something that I almost made an article on and did a video on. I haven't had time to really pursue it much. But do you guys know Cliff Bleszinski talking about like these absolute scumbag people? Bleszinski is the dude behind Gears of War. So he's been around the video game industry for a long time. Now he's doing comics, apparently, right? So he's doing these comics, this scrapper comic, I don't know. Might be good, might not. The art looks okay from what I see. I don't really want to read a comic about a dog, but that's neither here nor there. But Chris Bleszinski, recently we talked about him discussing wokeness. He was the one that said being woke just means having empathy, which is a complete BS lie, not even true. I doubt they'll be sold. You have to restructure in France, Canada, where label laws are strict. Oh, I don't know then. So, do you think then that it's more that lends credence to the idea that they're going to create another company to put their IPs in and then merge that company with foreign investment? Because what I heard about Ubisoft was that they were going to create another smaller company and basically shift their IPs to that company, which would lend to the idea that kind of like Tencent's going to, buy that company or something. I don't know. But anyways, I've had an idea about Cliff Bleszinski for a while based on the things he tweets, based on the things he says. He's got the face of someone that yelled the N-word at work parties so people would know how edgy he is. Yeah, Bleszinski's an interesting guy from everything I've seen about him, right? Definitely not the wholesome based developer that Yorch Torch here has tried to portray Gears of War as. Definitely a guy who you would not want to... I'm not going to say it. He just looks like a male feminist, and we all know you can't trust those guys around women, right? Okay. So, I saw this tweet back on the 15th, 2 days ago. This I thought was almost worth diving into. So, Cliff Bleszinski here says, I stand with Bill Burr for the record. For anybody who doesn't understand what that reference is, Bill Burr, the comedian, the not-so-funny comedian. Yeah, Yorch. Yeah, gamers. Bill Burr recently was like all free Luigi. If you don't understand the reference, the Luigi Mangione, the guy who shot the United Health Insurance CEO because, rich people bad. Yeah, nobody likes George. It seems like nobody likes Andy Pants anymore either. Although he's got like 200,000 YouTube subs or some shit like that. Yeah, Bill's been a complete F-wit, I think is a perfect way to describe him lately. So Cliff Bleszinski here saying that, it led to some people asking questions, right? You got Andy Pants going at it with him here. I don't care about their interaction. It's whatever. Andy Pants is retarded. So this guy here, Dr. Decepticon, says, do you support Free Luigi? And Cliff Bleszinski says, yes. Dr. Decepticon says, why? Cliff responds, because healthcare in this country is utterly effed, and he had to make a statement about it. Now, here's the thing. We've seen this kind of rhetoric being parroted by people like Alyssa Mercante recently. The whole Free Luigi thing, right? Absolutely insane. So, Dr. Decepticon says, so you think that murdering someone is an acceptable method of making a statement? Cliff responds, there's a reason he has so much support. How many people died from that insurance company declining coverage? So here's what I would ask Cliff. What on earth is your answer then? You don't know what most of that means. Which one are we talking? I can't decipher which part you're confused about. My question is, how many CEOs, how many insurance company CEOs? Because again, sure, United Healthcare might deny the most claims, but does that mean that the next company on the list who denies the second most claims, that their CEO should also be assassinated? Third most, fourth most, fifth most, right? He's got one of the most naturally funny speech patterns on the platform. I've never listened to him, so I don't know. Yeah, no comments on that? Yeah. Look, I understand the knee-jerk reaction among people. And people who say, well, you know what, the guy did deny claims and people died because of it. Okay. You're not talking about somebody who murdered anyone. You're talking about a company that provides insurance, and the insurance company, insurance and healthcare in this country is certainly screwed up. Okay, we can all agree on that. But murdering people, I wouldn't say is the best way to solve it. So he asked him, so do you think that murdering someone is an acceptable method of making a statement? And this guy here responds, some people don't deserve to live, especially if their continued existence is off the backs of the suffering of others. And Cliff says, while making millions off of it, okay? Absolutely insane. This guy here, Longshot Luke, says, this is character suicide. You are officially a piece of shit. And Cliff says, you're a cunt. Well, that's really cool. Longshot Luke says, for thinking those who are pro-assassination are pieces of shit, man, that's even more damning of your character. I used to look up to you. Signed, a former Gears of War fan. Cliff says, I don't give an F. Longshot Luke says, clearly alienated yourself from the games industry and the NIW, the gamers who defended you. What the F happened? And Cliff says, get a life. So this was a thing that happened, apparently. That's 5 dead CEOs and top one with 6,000 kills. Murder by pen still a thing. Oh no, so Hook, I can understand the knee-jerk reaction or the feeling of satisfaction some people have where they go, okay, this is retribution for all the people who were denied life-saving surgeries or medical care, whatever. Okay. That's a nice idea. The problem with that is the next CEO in line could be even worse and isn't going to change anything. And it's not just CEOs that have effect on these kind of things, right? It's not just CEOs. It goes much further than just one CEO of one company, okay? You'd have to then take the same tactic to look at our politicians, at every other person in position of power in this country who has some negative, detrimental, or even fatal effect on other people, by connection or association with them, and go, okay, are we going to legitimize the assassination of every single one of these people who may have some negative effect on other people? Because all that does is promote the idea that you can then go be a vigilante, and as long as you feel justified in your actions, when you wake up that morning, you can go kill whoever you want to, and it's justified, right? It doesn't fix the system, and the system is what needs to be fixed. Making the point even better. See, I say again, hang on, I gotta go let the cat out of the room. I understand the feeling. My point is it's not a solution. At least it's not the good solution. Not the moral solution, we'll say that. She decided to go to sleep in the kids' room and then she got locked in there. So John Locke's moral man thing. I don't know much about that, but I'm sure I can kind of like piece it together. The girl that falsely claimed that she saw babies thrown out of incubators. What do we? I don't know that. I don't know that one. They're pro-Democrats and they cheered Obama, so what's happened to that rhetorical? Yeah, I mean, there is a thing about that, right? There is something to that where it's like, I don't know. That for me, that just goes too deep. But I look at this and go, this is a very weird thing for somebody in his position to be claiming, to be saying, to be even be arguing. I don't understand how all these people have gotten to this point. I don't know, maybe I'm just naive. Maybe I just look at this and go, I don't think cheering on the death or the random assassinations of people fixes anything, you know? Well, and Susano, the thing about that is I would think that someone like Hook would say the problem is that the CEOs themselves don't honor that, and so the people at the bottom suffer. I understand the argument. I understand the moral argument that if you eliminate the people, the blood-sucking evil people at the top, the people at the bottom will have better lives, or they'll actually have the care that they need, or, you know, whatever. I understand that concept. The issue I take with it is it then allows for the justification of any one person to go and harm somebody else if they perceive that that person has caused them any harm, right? Hey, Desert. We can't have people turning into vigilantes and the like. The entire system would break. Yeah, I mean, it works well in like a Hollywood film. It works well in a superhero film. It's nice because we're not living in those worlds. The issue, though, becomes, you know, I don't want to live in that world, you know? I really don't. Let's switch topics. I was going to talk about Neil Druckmann, but I'd rather talk about Rachel Zegler real quick because this is too funny. I have a video my wife sent me. I have to play for you guys. It is so good. It is so freaking good. It's AI, and I know for you guys probably like the AI music stuff. So Rachel Zegler has got, where are we at here? It's a huge pile of people on a platform. You're going to get nutters that have weird beliefs and voice on these platforms. Yeah, but for me, it's the level of success and clout and fame that this man has. Cliff Bleszinski's got over 500,000 people following him on Twitter. A very loud presence on the platform. So to be saying stuff like that, I'm like, okay. Prime example. Alyssa Mercante is very pro Free Luigi. She thinks he's a hero. She wants to jump his bones. I'm not even kidding. She'd probably cuck her boyfriend and make him watch while she jumps Luigi's bones. She's that much of a degenerate. That being said, she is also a person who works at companies or has worked at companies that have CEOs. It just strikes me as really funny that when you have somebody working in the corporate world like Alyssa Mercante was, where you have CEOs who nobody likes because they make more money than everybody else and everyone blames them for everything, and then you start publicly calling for the assassination of random CEOs. I'm like, well, who's going to give you a job now, you know? It's crazy. The film is coming out soon. March 21st. We have a couple of days left. Oh yeah, she has a boyfriend. He looks exactly like you'd imagine. I thought my legs were skinny because I skipped leg day. Oh no, I think his are far worse. He took a picture in his underwear like a month or two ago and she posted on Twitter. Like the two of them standing in their underwear. Lies are the currency of the modern world, not virtue. Well, unfortunately, you have a certain amount of truth to that. Not justifying it. What do you do what do you expect when you have such a large population of people able to voice? Yeah, no, it's true. It's true. You don't believe that any of these people have a single lucid moment of earnest emotion or a real opinion? They just farm engagement. I think some people like Alyssa Mercante think that Luigi is fantastic. I think there are a small percentage of people who think that he's like a genuine, amazing hero, but I think it's small. I think it's a small percentage of people. So we have articles like this from people trying to hype everyone up about the movie, right? Rachel Zegler praised by critics as a shining supernova in the live-action remake of Snow White, Pure Disney Magic. Now, I'm not even going to read the article because it doesn't matter. How can you look at this? How can you look at this picture? Okay? How? How can you look at this picture and call this a supernova? I'm sorry, just on sheer impression alone, your first impression by looking at it. This is not good, okay? That the entire image of her is just not good at all. So these guys are trying to hype it up. You got film updates on Twitter saying Rachel Zegler channels original Snow White voice actress Adriana Caselotti. Okay. So that's a thing. She's trying to imitate her. I don't know. Snow Brown, yeah. That picture makes me soft. You and me both, dude. We should get some pictures of Andrew Tate on here. At least that might work. She looks like David Hogg with bob. Oh, Hunter Wood. Look, Zegler can be pretty. Not hot. She can be occasionally pretty in the right setting. That's about the most I'll give her. They didn't give an F when making this because CGI dwarves, yeah. More that doesn't have the public's attention, the public's too apathetic or ignorant to do anything about it. That's also very possibly true if we're talking about the Luigi situation. But then Master of the TDS, once again, has these screenshots here saying, is this a trend around Rachel Zegler or something? Because everyone's saying the almost exact same thing is kind of weird cult-like vibes, right? If you hate Rachel Zegler, you will die and go to hell. Like, look at these people. Either these are bots or these are real people saying the same thing. Now, most of these are Stan accounts or they're Free Palestine accounts. But most of them are Stan accounts, so they all have Rachel Zegler as their profile picture, those kind of things. It's very much the same kind of thing you'd expect, right? But they're all saying the same thing, that if you don't like Rachel Zegler, you will die and go to hell. Ironically, because most of these people wouldn't believe in hell if you told them it was a thing. Your alien-eyed girls? See, I can at least look at Rachel Zegler and say, yeah, maybe in the right setting she could be pretty. That other one, I'm sorry, man. She destroyed her face with that buckle fat thing she did. Just terrifying. Zegler, something we can all agree on. Oh, see, Mari, I'm not gonna say beautiful. No. She's not beautiful. She is passably pretty. She thinks she's beautiful. She just thinks too much of herself. Yeah, I think we're all mostly on the same page about Rachel Zegler. So then you see this here from Cosmic Marvel. Gal Gadot is reportedly annoyed by the drama surrounding the live-action Snow White film. A source says she enjoyed filming. She was fine with Zegler, but they're not friends. They have nothing in common. They did a job together, and that's it. No shit, Sherlock. Right? Anya Taylor-Joy's your queen. It's not slander. It's the truth, man. The truth hurts. No woman looks better after they remove the fat from their cheeks. We're not talking about some woman who was 400 pounds who's now 140 pounds. We're talking, you took a perfectly normal, pretty, healthy face and you scooped the fat out or drained the fat out of the cheeks to where you have these permanently sunken in. No, American standards aren't high. Here's the thing. So Mari, where we're having the disconnect is that most Americans, although you wouldn't believe this if you base it off of what the media tells you, most American men are fine with very normal, plain, pretty girls. They really are. Ones who look fine with makeup on, not a whole lot caked on, you know. Some of them look better without it, to be honest. But, you know, in general, most men don't prefer like cake face where it's like just painted on. But the reality is the media is going to tell you what pretty is versus what people in real life will tell you. It's usually never the same thing. She looks malnourished. Oh, there you go. The normal 1990s girl next door was hotter than Hollywood's average star today. Yes, exactly. It's not that our standards have gotten too high. It's that the culture has shifted to try to tell you that something different is pretty, right? Most girls who went to school look better than many celebrities. Yeah. That's 100% it. But people also used to be in better health, better shape, didn't rely so much on makeup and filters, everything else. Okay, so I had to get to this because here it is, 11:30. It's not super late. Oh, hang on. Now you actually. Who is this? D-Librium sent me that. Let me see here. Yeah, the meme of the evil queen who is jealous of her looks. Yeah, Gal Gadot. Oh, and Charlize Theron. Oh yeah, and even the chick off of Once Upon a Time on the TV show was pretty hot. The Evil Queen, yeah. No, they've done a very poor job casting Snow White in pretty much everything. It's been really bad. The whole flat chest thing, the average cup size is like a C or something. Yeah. But I don't have a thing for Latinas. It has to be the right Latina. What about Salma Hayek? Can I interest you in Salma Hayek? Just saying. Because Hollywood casting agents are all being replaced by ugly, middle-aged white ladies that are obsessed with destroying... That and gay men. Gay men, the makeup industry, and feminism have all destroyed what it meant to be attractive for a woman. And unfortunately, there are a certain percentage of men who run along with it. There are a certain percentage of guys who go with the trends, and they'll chase the Instagram models, and you see the Andrew Tates of the world, the girls they hang out with who have the cake face, and the unhealthy, like... Yeah, it's just... No, it's not good. Salma Hayek, yeah. Not even Salma Hayek, Smeg, really? Damn. Eva Mendes? She was pretty hot back in the day. So anyways, we're gonna end off with this, okay? This is a 5.5 minute video. I previewed the first 30 seconds of it, and I died laughing, like, this is too good. Ana de Armas is pretty. You're not wrong. Rosie Perez made me hear that every time I see a Latina. Okay, I get it. I understand Rosie Perez kind of ruined Latinas for a lot of people. What's the deal with the 3-inch thick eyebrows? I don't know. To be fair, I don't know. That's another thing these days. So among black women, it's the gluing the baby hairs down to the head, which just looks retarded. The fake eyelashes that are like that long, right? And the friggin' painted on eyebrows. The beauty trends are screwed, like really bad. Going for the Eva Perón? Oh, I can't remember what she looks like. I don't know what they look like in real life either. Yeah. Okay, so guys, we're gonna play this. It's comments. Hang on, let me get the proper. It's the comments under the Snow White trailer and added to music. Okay. So this is epic. It's beautiful. It's fantastic. We're just gonna play this and enjoy. Let me make sure the volume's not too loud. That's a little loud. Okay. So hopefully I could, let me move my camera for this, because I don't want to block the subtitles if you guys want to read along. No, chat music's been hitting people for copyright, but this isn't real music though. Parachute one's the best. Oh, I haven't seen that one. Oh, the thick eyebrows because of the Kardashians. I'll turn the volume down a little bit. If it gets copyright claimed, I'll just edit this part out of the stream. It's fine. Whatever. But this shouldn't be copyrighted music.
This trailer makes me want to sit on the TV and look at my cow. I paid nothing to watch this trailer, but I already want my money back. Coming to a theater near you, me, is that a threat? They should have made Rachel CGI instead.
They've been hitting real people lately anyways? What? You mean the people that do this? So hang on a second. I hate this genre of AI epic Viking music made from memes and comments. See, John, here's the thing. I don't usually watch this kind of stuff. So I saw this and I started cracking up. I'm like, oh my God, this is great. They do release it on Spotify too. Maybe that's why. Did they elongate her neck in the edit? Oh my God, I don't know. I know that for one of the posters, they actually lightened her skin. The line in one of the Snow White chat music vids, there's like 3. Well, I'm just gonna turn it. Well, I mean, if they put it to Music Desert and copyrighted it, then they could. But again, the problem I would have is if it's not copyrighted music, how can they copyright claim it, you know? Even Friday Night Tights got a warning. Damn. Interesting. Maybe it is people uploading it the whole song as their video. When you chop off part, live chat disappears from the entire live stream, so you can partially remove sound later. Yeah, I know that you can erase. Oh, dude, John, I understand. The algorithm will flood your feed with that kind of crap. I'll turn it down a little bit more, but yeah. Oh, well, it's 4 minutes out of the stream. If I have to erase the song later, it's not even that big of a deal.
Your childhood might be.
God, I haven't actually watched trailers on YouTube in a long time. The comments usually are the best part. Like, if we're being honest, especially for things like Snow White trailer and shit, the comments are genuinely the best part half the time. Yeah, they would need permission, wouldn't they? I like that it finds rhymes. That is the cool part. There's human input, such as the stuff I make with my own lyrics. Chat music can't actually copyright anything because they use public comments. Yeah, there has to be... Exactly.
I haven't seen something self-implode this hard since that Titan song.
Oh my god.
Mirror, mirror on the wall. As a German, I claim cultural appropriation. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Snow White in the 7 CGI abomination. Making the dwarfs look like a PS1 hack rig was a bold choice. Rachel Zegler looks like a medieval squire.
Oh my god. Oh, how? What? Who thought this movie was going to be a good idea? I swear to God, this is like... Did you ever listen to the original Why Yasuke song? I didn't. No. Oh my god. That is so brutal.
Marvel's lost $237 million. Snow White, hold my beer. Disney used to make people famous. Now it ends acting careers. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Why the seats are empty in cinema hall. Mirror, mirror on the wall. What's the biggest Disney flop of all? Shut it. It's okay, Disney. You can just cancel the film. We won't be mad if you admit defeat.
Squire Boy would be, like in the Dark Ages, a knight would have his squire, basically his young boy who's in training to be a knight one day. The guy who would carry, like, his sword, basically like, you know, how Yasuke would have carried Oda Nobunaga's swords and everything else for him. Your squire fetches your horse for you and does errands and chores and that kind of stuff. It's like a knight in training. Oh, Japanese makes it slap harder. That'd be awesome.
Even Bob the Builder can fix this. Disney achieved the closest thing to World Peace by releasing something we all collectively hate. I mean, why is there an earthquake here? It's Walt Disney rolling in his
Oh my god.
Nobody has ever rooted for a poison apple until this movie. Go, Apple, go! Actors like Clovism, hi-ho, it's off to work, we know. They finally did it. They made a movie nobody's going to pirate. Did I frighten you? No Snow White and her 7 CGI did.
Woo! Oh my god. We're only halfway through this thing. Wow. Holy crap. Yeah, it's the old version of an unpaid intern, exactly. Oh my god. Oh. Y'all, this is gold, okay? I get it. These things have probably been done 1,000 times and it gets to be annoying, but this is genuinely, like, fantastic.
Disney's next step is gonna be making Rapunzel fall. I can hear Walt Disney's frozen head screaming in the Disney vault. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the bitchiest of them all? Mirror, mirror on the wall, whose acting career is about to fall? Rachel Zegler is her name. This monstrosity will be her only fame. Show this to my friend before his guy died, then he jumped out the plane with no parachute.
Oh my god. Ooh. Yeah, dude, I'm trying so hard not to bust up. Chat music is the only channel I like that does this stuff. There's a lot of copycats there. They most kind of suck. Dude, this is gold.
That mirror is lying. It probably came from Temu, coming to a theater near you. Move. The swarms look like they came from Chernobyl. This movie isn't releasing, it's escaping. This makes the B movie look like a Vincent Van Gogh painting. Thank you, Disney. You're the world's best at destroying childhood dreams. Is Disney aware that Snow White is supposed to be more beautiful than the evil queen?
Well, Susano, okay. The real short version, because she's a completely insufferable, like, twat, okay? She's terrible. The short version, she complained about how the original Snow White, the prince is basically a stalker, how they're gonna make the movie where he's not gonna save her, she has to save herself, that it was weird that the prince was trying to, like, fall in love with her when she basically had no consent over it. She wanted to complain about how if she was going to have to stand in that Snow White dress, she had to get paid for every minute she was standing in it during the whole negotiating strikes thing. She said a lot of things. She has basically crapped all over everything about Snow White and this, you know, the fans and everything else. She's a insufferable human being.
It's Hollywood, baby.
Mirror, mirror on the wall. No one's gonna watch this movie at all.
Weird.
Mirror, mirror on the wall. Just how far will Disney fall?
Weird.
I think a happy ending would be if she is the apple and the movie fades to black. Even Microsoft is rooting for this apple that's looking to premium so I can enjoy the ads. Not even Oppenheimer could make such a bomb. Disney's going down faster and faster. This movie been released in the 1900s. Titanic would have been forgotten as the worst disaster. Walls look like none of them are allowed within a mile of the school.
Oh my god.
The United States military should use this movie as an interrogation tool. Zegler is gearing up for a new career as a cashier at TJ Maxx. When your lead actor is so toxic, she poisons the apple instead.
So they destroyed the OG story. Yeah. You know, the thing is, she has such a narcissistic, vapid, insufferable personality. She thinks she is everything. And so she was in West Side Story. And West Side Story was a huge disaster of a movie. It bombed terribly. It lost a lot of money. She was in one of those Hunger Games movies. I think it was that spin-off Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, I think it was called. That was also a bomb as far as I know. She has not had a profitable film, but she thinks the world of herself. She has got, like, such a massive ego. Yeah, exactly. You'd rather watch the ads. I know, that's, yeah. Yeah, she's also massively, like, antagonistic towards, like, Israelis and stuff, and she's like, oh, pro-Palestine, free Palestine. It's like, okay, so she like makes her opinion known on that regularly, and it was seen as her being antagonistic because she has a co-star who's Israeli, so it seemed like she was trying to, like, attack her with that and shit. So. Holy shit. What? Lord Farquaad couldn't get the princess, so he became one. Congrats for her transition. I can't with that. Oh my god. Ooh.
Snow White eats the apple but is unable to sue because she agreed to the Disney Plus terms and conditions. This makes YouTube Rewind look like a cinematic masterpiece. Knowing that this movie exists truly makes me jealous of the blind, the deaf, and the deceased. Mirror, mirror on the wall, Disney disliked this from heaven. Mirror, mirror on the wall, March 21st is the new 9/11. I find your lack of audience concerning, Dwarf Vader. Drop the biggest shit. Didn't even give us toilet paper.
Oh my god, okay. Okay, this might be the best line. Oh, Holy crap. Whoa, okay.
Coming to a theater near you decides to live off grid. My Wi-Fi tried to disconnect itself to save me from watching this. If she's Snow White, then I'm Michael Jordan. At this rate, Disney are gonna make Mickey Mouse a dolphin. This trailer made Serbian Phil emotionally rewarded. The only snow that's white here is the one Disney's executives keep sneering.
Oh my god, they made a cocaine joke. Ooh.
Mirror on the wall, when did Lord Farquaad get so tall? Mirror, mirror on the wall, who approved that wig after all? Mirror, mirror on my screen, can this trailer be unseen? Mirror, mirror on the wall, what's the shittiest remake of them all?
Wow. Okay. Yeah. That was probably the best thing I've seen in a long time. Oh, man. Wow. Like, I get it. AI did a lot of the work, but still, my hat's off to these guys. That was... Yeah, Serbian film. Yeah. That was something. That was very your Serbian friend has stories of it. Yeah, I bet. That was pretty fantastic, not gonna lie. Oh boy. All right. Why can't I move my camera back? What is going on? Weird. Weird, weird. Oh, the comment section was fantastic. Fellow not feds. Hey, big ship. I'm looking forward to see just how poorly it does. I would love if domestically it doesn't hit $100 million. That would be amazing. Yeah, the organizing of the comments to line up with some rhyming is good stuff, for real. That's top notch. That was fantastic. I think there was 3 of those chat music. Snow. Oh my god. Did I see Kabrutus post? New one? I have not. Actually, it's really funny because Oblivion, I mentioned earlier on the stream, Oblivion was asking me on Discord if I knew anything about what was up with Kabrutus. And I haven't seen much of him other than I saw that he was reworking the website a couple days ago. He mentioned something about that. Oh, the thing about the Ubisoft Brazil marketing team. Yeah, I didn't actually watch this. Let me, Disney should buy Ubisoft so they can fall together. Yeah, no kidding. Let me go back to this screen here. Hang on. So this is from Ubisoft Brazil, apparently.
Assassin's Creed Shadows, Guerreiros das Sombras.
Guerreiro das chamas forjado em dor, dragão que renasce em valor. Nas sombras da noite e da escuridão, a águia se faz guardiã.
I don't know if I love this or not. Looks like 90s television, like you get home from school and watch it.
Assassin's Creed Shadows, versão brasileira, Ubisoft Brasil.
It's... So, okay, Big Ship, it's really funny. When I was going to community college back, like I was a teenager, so I got in early, back in the early 2000s, my German professor told me that in Germany, the 80s were like really big because they were kind of like 20, 30 years behind the time, right? Maybe Brazil's finally getting to the 80s. I don't know. No, this is apparently the Ubisoft Brazil marketing team that put this together. That's pretty interesting. Street Fighter movie, yes. There's a ton of Japanese in Brazil. Why? Yeah, it definitely has Power Rangers vibes. Better love story than Twilight. Dude, Twilight was so bad. The first movie was fantastic, though, because the first Twilight you could laugh at, and it was, like, so cringy it was funny. The second movie was sucked. It was just boring. That's from Assassin's Creed Brazil, is what he said. The Ubisoft Brazil marketing team. Yeah. No, dude, they posted this. So it says, Assassin's Creed Shadows arrives and we celebrate one of the many passions of Japanese culture in Brazil. Tokusatsu join Edu Falashi as he sings Strike as One with Joga Zulu as Yasuke and Taius Matsufugi as Naue in this reimagined TV series. Yeah, this is from, I mean, I don't know if they put it together or if, like, I don't know. Why do you think our most well-known Brazilian Dan Bass covers so many 80s songs? Oh, you know, I never thought about that. That actually makes sense now. Man, no offense to any Brazilians that might be in this chat, but God, it was a mistake to open up the global internet. Oh, I guess I'm the only one noticing the major problems here. I mean, I can think of a few problems. What comes to mind for you? Are they two blokes? It could be, again, because of the need for martial art, like, experts, if they're doing flips and stuff. Yeah, I think... Is there an Adam's apple hiding under there, guys? I'm not a very good transvestigator, guys. You gotta have to help me out here. Are we looking at, like, two dudes here? You're not saying it? Yeah. 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 Let me see if there's another close-up on the face. I thought something was off. Okay. I thought something was off at the very end. I think it was right here. I saw the face and I'm like, something was kind of off about it. Damn. Worse than Brazilian. Oh my god. You've never heard transvestigator? Oh yeah. No, that's the term for it. You have to transvestigate. Now, if you go back to the 80s, and you had Crocodile Dundee, that great movie. Oh god, I'm so bummed that they're going to be censoring that movie for the master re-release, whatever. I don't know. But where he walks up to the dude in drag and he just, like, cups his balls, you know, to check out if it's a dude or not. That was the easy way to tell. Now it's an authentic Assassin's Creed Shadows experience. Well, the eyes could look feminine, but, like, is some of that influenced by the makeup? No, I get it, you know, almond eyes and all that, but still, like, that's a man's nose. Like, I didn't notice the chin as much, but that's a dude's nose. Like, hardcore. Ace Ventura, yeah. Hey, when did Candace get here? I didn't see her. Oh, that was your comment. Hey, Candace. Hopefully you didn't comment earlier and I just kind of read it and overlooked it. Dude, I gotta bookmark this. This is, oh my god. This is something that this is worth putting into a video. Looks like you got an expansion pass for his jaw. Ouch. Well, okay. Let me do something. Hang on. Let me do something. I can do things, guys. Hey, Anime Mania. Oh my god, I am so hungry. I skipped dinner, had a protein bar at my kid's baseball game. Well, practice. He had a scrimmage. It didn't go well, but it's not a real game yet, so we'll see how the season goes. I don't know, guys. Hang on, there's a video of this person talking right here. Where is that at?
Que eu tô prestes a fazer. Quem vai sentar nessa cadeira aqui?
Well,
se vocês adivinharem que eu tô prestes a fazer, quem vai sentar nessa cadeira aqui?
That doesn't sound like a man on estrogen. I don't know, guys.
Ask Brescia.
It would be my amazing tattoo ever.
Sure.
Thank you.
So like here?
I don't think it's a guy, guys. The future prospect of Ubisoft the Sims from is the most exciting thing for sure. If this is the same person, the name matches up and it looks like.
Can you do me a favor? I'd like to get my phone. Can I have a picture with you?
Oh no, Susano, it's fine. We were done anyways. So this is just bonus material here. The Mortal Kombat games are terrible now. I mean, yeah, I don't play them, but I hear that they're not good. Nobody was happy with the last one, it seems like. Yeah, guys, I'm in camp. It's a woman with a strong jaw. But I'm just basing it off of what the person sounds like. Okay? If even the most like estrogenized man still has parts of their vocal, like when they speak, that sound like a man. I think he signed her elbow, like gave her his autograph. That's what I think it's a girl. I kind of gave off a bloke look. Well, you know what? Here's the thing. I don't know this person. I have no interest to go checking their equipment. So we're just gonna let this one get away, guys. Now she has a child and married this woman. Well, there you go. See, Smeg went the extra mile. So, dude, you get like, what do we have here? I can't even find my shit on here. Man, I'm a hot mess tonight. Holy crap. You get round of applause. You went the extra mile. The choker's usually a red flag. Yeah, but look at Melanie Mack. She's a woman. The choker's a red flag, but for different reasons. Both male and females have Adam's apple. Yeah, but men's are there, whereas women's really aren't. See, I told you I wasn't getting that vibe, man. I'm telling you, I was getting in her voice alone. Yes. My American ass was over here on my stream, and my viewers and I were debating whether or not you were a man or a woman. Could you just send some pictures to clarify it for us? Yeah, I don't think that would go over well. Just saying. Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, there's still issues with the video. Yeah, see, Candace, we talked about that in the majority of the stream. My biggest concern is that they're going to weaponize YouTube's like strike system as they've done before in the past. Not that they're going to actually sue anybody. Transformer Whisperer. I'm not going to pat myself on the back too hard, man. I'm just saying. I had a pretty good vibe when I heard her voice. I'm like, no, that definitely sounds like a woman. So, well, what did John say? Oh yeah, yeah. No, so Candace, like I said, that's my most legitimate concern is that that's going to be what they do, is to try to suppress people criticizing them and all that. Yeah, Last of Us 2, I think you're right. I think they did something along those lines. Okay, I think we have officially done enough for damage for one night. Let me see real quick here. Since it is still St. Patty's, oh, it's not St. Patty's Day anymore. Oh well, we'll end out with some Celtic folk music. The best part is this is all copyright free. I managed to find copyright free Celtic instrumental music, which I freaking love. It's like, my God, why didn't I find this sooner? Anyways, so we'll end off with an Irish blessing, since I have a little bit of Guinness left, and I'm gonna take a sip and it's gonna make me throw up because I got an empty stomach at this point. Let's see, it says, may the road rise up to meet you, may the wind be always at your back, may the sun shine warm upon your face, the rains fall soft upon your fields, and until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand. So cheers, guys. With that, my eyes appear green tonight. That's from the lighting. That's because all the lighting. With that being said, I'm going to get out of here, guys. And appreciate y'all hanging. It's been a fun one. We are going to have a fun week with Assassin's Creed Shadows coming out, with freaking Snow White coming out. It's going to be an interesting time. But again, stay chill. Don't go harassing anybody. Don't go spurging out online. It's not worth it. Just enjoy yourself and don't take life too seriously. Shamrocket, exactly. All right, guys, yeah. Have a good one. It's been fun. I will catch you guys all on Wednesday. I probably am going to have Mr. Hardcore Mode as a guest on the channel on Wednesday night. I think we can make it work out as far as timing goes. And I will catch you guys then. Peace out.